You guys are silly billies. Welcome to As It Is Below, a Brindlewood Bay actual play campaign from Looking for Mom ttrpg. Where a special shout out these little guys right here, these players, these lovely storytellers. I know I'm using a silly little voice to make it easier for them to digest the fact that I'm complimenting them. I know your tricks. I have incredible, lovely, kind, smart, caring players. Guys, they're all matching because we love each other, and it's been a joy and a pleasure. If we don't know, but if this is our last episode, I want to shout out them for just the absolute thrill it has been this last year plus being in this story alongside them. Couldn't have asked for better players, better storytellers, better little guys to be crazy with in our pre-session chats. Tonight we're returning to Dead as a Dodo, our void mystery, to see if our mavens can uncover the final plot of the midwives of the fragrant void and stop it in time. Last session they were met with realization after realization that the end is near. Homes are being broken into, people are getting asked out on really creepy dates, a confirmed werewolf has promised to stop by. Hallucinations were had, and Maven almost got digitized, and finally, after session upon session of secret clandestine meeting, a secret informant was finally revealed. If you have not watched our previous episode, what are you doing? I'm going to spoil something right now, which is that secret informant is none other than the long-lost daughter of Violet, Phoenix, who has shown up right in front of the Mavens at Grace's headstone there in the cemetery with a helping hand and some desperation to boot. So, we're returning to that scene now. The cemetery itself is foggy and creaking as branches shift amongst one another. But louder than that is probably the heart beating in each one of our mavens' chests at this interaction. Moments ago, a masked person, all white porcelain mask, all black cloak, emerged from the woods line. Woods lines all throughout the town that you've seen masks watch you and know, at least in Marina's case, that they belong to more than one person. This figure approached with a flashlight. You all stood your ground, not knowing who or what was behind it. But they took off their mask. And they apologized for being so sudden, as the face, Violet's face, different eye color, but Violet's face nonetheless stares back at you all. I'm sorry I couldn't have done this sooner. I heard you guys were looking for someone. She turns the flashlight so it's the light is facing her and the handle is facing all of you, and stands there, waits, unknowing, a little scared herself. As our camera pans, we see that unsure expression on Phoenix's face, and then we see all of you. Marina, what are you feeling in this moment?
I think Marina is just feeling like kind of waiting for something to happen and worried for Violet a little bit and seeing how she's going to react, because I mean the resemblance is uncanny. So she knows that this is a huge moment and just wants it to be okay. And I think she's had enough interactions with people in the masks that she hopes it's not like some kind of trick or something bad. And she's a little scared that and wants this to be good for Violet.
Yeah, you don't want another Black Icarus heart of someone you all once called a friend to appear, do you?
No.
Hope is a powerful thing. Taya, what are you sitting with?
I think Taya is just trying to process sort of what's happening, what's going on, trying to like establish her position in all of this and sort of same thing, like waiting for how Violet's going to react, because she's fighting off the instinct to just tackle this figure because she doesn't know what's going on. But I think she's looking back at her friends knowing that they probably know what's best, and so she's just holding back.
Holding back a new skill you've garnered over the last bit, right, Taya? Instead of running full force away or towards, you are making a calculated assessment of what is going on, putting trust in your friends. Violet, you can tell me what you're feeling. I'm also curious what you do.
I think Violet, a lot's been going on and building up for a while, and I don't think Violet has had a lot of quiet time in her own mind, because there's always what's going on in the background. We found all these strange things. What is going on? But I think for the first time in at least months, her mind goes completely blank when she sees Phoenix. And all that's going through her mind is that she does look like me. Like, this can't. And I think she has a moment where she's questioning if this is real, because it almost doesn't feel like it can be. Like, it's been 51 years. And now who she assumes has to be her daughter is in front of her. And I don't think she thinks about, like, she's not thinking. She has zero question. She immediately trusts this person in front of her, who she assumes is her daughter. And she starts to step forward and, like, she reaches her arm out to touch her face almost before she realizes what she's doing, and then, like, reaches, past the flashlight, and then stops just almost touching her face, and pulls back a little bit and realizes that, like, she doesn't know this person, even though she feels like she does. And she very, very quietly, she always wondered what she would say in this moment when it finally came. And all that comes through her mind, all that she realizes, is she doesn't even know what to call her. She doesn't know what her name is. So I think she pulls that hand back just a little bit and just says, what's your name?
The figure, your presumed daughter, looks at you, kind of furrows her brow. I don't know what my official government name would be. I don't. But I've been going by Phoenix. It's a cool bird.
Violet just starts crying.
So does she.
She just takes a minute, and she can't get a word out, and she almost does it without asking, but just, she doesn't understand, and she just is like, can I hug you?
Yeah.
And she just grabs her as tight as she can, and she is sobbing into her shoulder. And I think what comes out of her mouth, she just, I looked for you. I couldn't find you. I tried, I promise.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I believe you. You don't have anything to be sorry about.
I do, but I just how do I get you safe? Because I don't think the people you're involved with are very good.
Oh no, they're not. Uh, Underneath the hug, she's got sort of the flashlight arm around you, but she has let go. And Marina and Taya can see this. The white mask that she had pulled off and had been holding in her other hand falls to the ground and cracks into pieces. I actually came here to make sure that you guys could be safe. Great minds think alike, I guess. I there's a lot to talk about, and we probably shouldn't be here for very long. But there's another you, and she points past you, Violet, to Taya, right?
Uh, yeah. Do you know where she is?
She sort of waves. I don't imagine that maybe Violet and Phoenix, I don't think have totally ended an embrace. Maybe
Yeah,
they're still touching in some form for sure.
Yeah.
So she,
But-
with the one arm, sort of points the flashlight out while she still has it like around Violet. And this, I stole it, and it's supposed to find created void beings, things from him that shouldn't be here but are.
Him?
Yeah, who's him?
Who's him?
Who is him indeed? She looks nervous, as if names are a dangerous thing. Uttering them out loud is a dangerous thing. It goes by a couple different names, I guess, like me in some ways, but I know him as Maynard.
Maynard.
You might have read about him as the winged deceiver or deliverer, depending on translation.
Is he a dodo?
He can be.
Okay.
This won't help you find him, but it can help you find stuff made by him.
Okay.
By I guess us through him. There's a lot I don't understand, but it's supposed to help you. I took this so you guys could have it.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
Taya's gonna like step forward and grab the flashlight and kind of give Violet like a little pat on the back to like reassure her, like, just have your moment, and then step back next to Marina.
Yeah. You can come with us. You can tell us everything.
Yeah. Was that... She kind of lowers her voice to you, Violet. Was that you as a mannequin?
Wait. You mean by the lake?
Were you... Yeah.
Yeah. I don't... Was that... I didn't know that was... I didn't know that was real. I thought it was just...
Real is... And not maybe a great term definitively, but a version of that did occur. That's yeah, we can unpack it, but if it hadn't have been you, we wouldn't be here now. So thank you for whatever you all did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll keep you safe.
Hey, that's my job. She does like a very weak little wink through like her crying.
Listen, and Violet kind of like trails off. Like anything she could think to say is making light of 51 years of loss and trauma, and she can't do that in a lighthearted way.
Right.
But yeah, well, let's. Do you want to go? I mean,
Yeah, they're gonna figure out that I'm. I think maybe some of them already know that I've been helping you all. So anywhere where maybe secluded, without like people nearby, windows, got anything like that?
I mean, we can close curtains and stuff. We can get you a change of clothes so you look different, and um, or do you mean like somewhere like in the woods, away from other
Oh
houses?
no, I'm tired of the woods.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Um.
that's anywhere is better than here out in the open where
Yeah.
um, yeah. Thank you too. Sort of leans past her mother towards the two of you for everything. I've been. I'm not the only person who's been watching, but I have been watching. Thank you for not giving up on the bay or Violet or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the Bay is my home, and Violet is my closest friend. So,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, we're a family, and I guess now maybe your family too.
Yeah.
Says it like really quiet, like yeah.
And I think Violet follows that really quietly, just to Phoenix, if you want to be, because we
No, I
want
haven't
you.
had any actual family for a good long bit, so that'd be nice.
Well, you got an Insta family now.
Yeah.
Violet, should we go back to your place since
Yeah.
my place and Marina's have been sort of ransacked in some way?
Yeah. Let's hope. Let's Yeah. Let's go. We'll go check in and yeah.
Yeah.
Get some
Come meet
food.
me.
Yeah, you can meet Murray and Gavin, and yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Sort of picks up the pieces of her mask and should go. I mean, this shouldn't go to your house. I would like to bury this right here. I think.
Let's bury it under the tree.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think we can probably find something from like Violet's car or something, and grab like a little shovel from like camping, and
Yeah, absolutely. You guys take a moment, maybe just Violet and Phoenix burying this, silently working both each one. Like, what can I say in this moment? But I can't because we're still out in the open. This
Yep.
heavy lightness, right?
I think Violet starts thinking about what's safe to say, and I think she settles on, okay, well, you know, I think maybe she's not sure if this is too much, but I think she starts and she can't stop, and she starts telling Phoenix about Gavin and about Murray, and after a little bit, she tells her that she has two sisters, who she would love her to meet at some point, and about a little bit about their life. And I think once she kind of starts nervously rambling, it takes her a little while to stop, because she so desperately wants to connect with her in any way she can. And on one hand, Phoenix is the person who she sees the most as having to make up to show, like, if Violet had had a choice in the matter, her life would have been so different. And yeah, that's the kind of almost what she's trying to maybe prove to herself in a way.
Yeah, I don't think Phoenix says much. I think she digs intently and listens. Though she is happy, I think, for the noise. There's a lot of everything going on, and just like having a conversation that isn't her giving you a cryptic clue under the guise of retaliation or secrecy, but these first moments truly being able to be who she is in front of you, mask down, that she remembers who she is in relation to you. I think we'll zoom out our scene a little bit while you guys are digging away and placing each piece of the mask into this hole. Marina and Taya. This all seems very good and earnest. You've been given, hopefully, a help with this flashlight. But as they are digging, this might not be a place for you to encroach between mother and daughter. So what do you do with your time while they put a past to rest?
I think, yeah, we're trying to give them a little privacy, maybe not like loom in the background, like watching them have this very tender moment. So I think we're almost trying to like maybe busy ourselves, and I think Marina would want to figure out like what this flashlight does and like kind of try to shine it around and like tell Taylor like shine over by that tree kind of.
Yeah, Taya's like flipping the flashlight around and clicking it on and off, trying to see like where any vapor trails could be.
Sure, yes. This flashlight, a modern flashlight, it's got a blue light bulb in it. Sometimes it can catch these trails that Phoenix has told you is supposed to help you find things from Maynard. Things like the other you. But you don't know if there are more things from Maynard hanging out in your dimension. So, I'm going to have probably you, Taya, with advantage because Marina is helping and you've also got the flashlight. Please roll me the meddling move with reason or composure, your choice.
Okay. Composure for sure.
You got it.
Do I need... Oh, this is just meddling. Okay. 10.
Hey, a 10 will do it. A 10 gets you in the door. Describe to me how you are searching and looking around the graveyard, the cemetery here, where so many people you know have been laid to rest.
I think Taya is being very careful about where she's stepping, but also very much following Marina's lead. Like wherever Marina is like pointing, she's like trying to aim the flashlight as like well as she could. Also holding Marina's hand as she's like steadily moving forward, peeking behind a tree to see if there's anything there.
How Scooby-Doo of you guys. And yes, I think behind this next tree, the flashlight catches a trail that seems to move behind a mausoleum of sorts. So while you can't see what it leads to, you definitely see a trail that you can follow.
I think Marina kind of like looks at Taya and like,
yeah, Taya gives a very similar like,
yeah.
Are we going, Marina?
Well, we have to.
Yeah, let's go.
Like little Scooby-Doo trot over.
Have your little Scooby-Doo trot over with this new flashlight given to you by a new ally. Violet found something she was desperately looking for. Maybe you guys can find something you're looking for too. After the hell that has been the last 2 days, things are finally looking up, right? Turn the corner on the mausoleum. The flashlight catches and reflects the absolute blinding white of the feathers of all of these albino birds. varied different birds. Not a ghost raven in sight, though, but a goose, a chicken, a guinea fowl, a young vulture. And they're all pecking at something in a recently dug grave. As they hop around, not liking the light you've put on them, it becomes clear that while they are certainly bloody, and you can see that getting up onto their feather and their plumage, that the body parts in this grave are plastic and metal. They're mannequin parts, but they're still bloody.
Oh, gross.
Beautiful.
It's like art, right?
Are there like little jelly packs in there, or and I think she just kind of like tries to get closer. Excuse me. It tries to like make a lot of ruckus with her body movement, so they'll like flee.
Oh, give me the night move with vitality.
Wait, can I?
This is where you could use your previous roll if you wanted, since it's a night move.
Oh my god, yes.
I was also gonna say we could give a hoot.
We could give a hoot. I think I'll give
What
a
do you
hoot.
want to do?
Yeah, Tia's gonna like nudge Marina and be like, "Remember what I taught you in the car? Remember?"
I remember. I hope I do it right.
I think you're gonna do great.
And I think she like full body like embodies this hoot and kind of like does like a whole thing and like shuffles around this weird grave like
Not
just
a flip,
full
but it's fine.
and just howling ferally.
Back at the tree, Phoenix gives you, Violet, such an odd look. What was that?
I don't know.
Okay,
Okay,
let's get the dirt on this real quick.
Yeah, we're almost done. We'll go check. I'm sure it's fine.
So realistic.
Oh, and the best part is Violet doesn't know what Marina's yell sound like, because I was about to be like, oh, that sounds like Taya from the Bigfoot competition, but it's not Taya. She doesn't know.
It's not. This is a rogue yell. We
Yeah.
cut back. There's just a split second. We cut back to you, Marina. Marina, you are using Give a Hoot once per mystery. Give a thunderous Bigfoot cry, then take advantage on your next roll when acting against those struck by the majesty and mystery of your unexpected roar. You startled the fuck out of these birds.
Sorry guys.
So you have advantage at getting in there and seeing more of what they are pecking at.
Sick.
Taya's in the background, like,
Yeah. We're just like coming out of this daze of like this feral daze. It's like really giddy.
yeah.
Okay. So what do I roll?
3d6, keep your top 2, then add vitality.
Vitality. Ooh, I have 10.
Incredible. Yeah. So is your goal is to climb down into this recently dug grave full of bloody mannequin body parts?
That's the plan.
What are you hoping to get out of this?
To kind of, I guess, to see what's wrong with the mannequin parts, to see if there's something like abnormal about them, or yeah.
Yeah.
Or bloody, but mannequin-y.
Well, you're not sure why they might be bloody. These parts are all broken.
Okay.
Hands are missing or limbs are like patched out. These are mannequin parts that would not cut it on an H&M floor, right? These wouldn't be the family in the front of the Old Navy store. These are at the back. These are getting tossed out. They simply weren't good enough.
Sick.
Can I check whose grave it was?
It's not anyone's. It's just a hole behind a mausoleum. It's not any sort of marked grave.
Did you find anything? Like a squib or something?
It's just really weird, kind of like subpar mannequin parts.
Okay. Weird. I mean, still cool though. Here, let me help you out.
I think she, for some reason, just from seeing the blood, checks if like one of the mannequin hands, like assuming like there's like a severed arm or something, if it has a pulse.
Roll me the night move with sensitivity, please,
Why do I do this to myself? Okay.
to see if this mannequin arm has a pulse. Now, Marina, before you roll this, what could go wrong here?
My first instinct was that it grabs me.
Ooh, this
Something.
might become a grave for a real body after all.
Oh!
That feels
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll.
Okay, plus sensitivity, because that's a 6. The 8?
Okay. An 8. A mixed success here. This is fun. Your fear was that this thing would grab you. And our worst condition or worst result, if this went wrong, was that it could end you. I had you roll with sensitivity, Marina, because this is an incredibly visceral sight. And you tend to have connections to things that have lived and have since died. There's no better conduit for something that wants to become living once more than someone who's already tethered to that bridge. So I think in keeping with your initial thought, you go, you feel for a pulse, you're not sure. It could be just like you getting your own sort of feedback back through the plastic and the metal and the hollow. And then the hand does move. And it holds onto your wrist tightly. Tighter. Starting to hurt. What do you do?
Try to yank away.
It's gonna be a night move with vitality.
Okay.
So you try to yank this thing off. Or you could put on a crown if you wanted to bump that previous result.
You know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna bump it.
Okay. Which crown were you thinking?
I think I want to save my my Crown of the Void for a later potential failing roll.
Sounds good.
So I think I'm gonna do fondest memory with one of your children, especially since Violet just might start having a lot of fond memories with one of her children, so I think it's on her mind.
Sounds good. Tell me more.
Yeah, I think probably around the time that Ryan died, she'd always had, I think it's that point of like the mother-daughter relationship that you kind of feel like on equal footing with your children, and you almost feel like you start to take care of your mom more than she's taking care of you. And I think her daughter Shannon would bring her soup during the day, and they spent a lot of time together, taking like little trips to like nearby towns, and just started kind of living her life again and getting out of bed earlier and earlier every day. And I think Shannon really got her back on her feet. And I think in this moment she remembers the first time she was able to like muster up the strength and the courage to go with Shannon, who visited her father's grave every day, It was the first time that she went with her since his funeral, and I think it was just a nice moment just sitting there. I'm imagining them like just sitting crisscross on his grave, like talking about fun moments that they had together, kind of being able to remember him in a positive way and have, light memories about him and laugh through tears. And I think that was a very cathartic moment for her and her daughter.
Yeah, I think it was too. So things in graveyards don't tend to hold much weight on you anymore. You've faced a lot scarier realities head on coming to these places. So while you do catch a glimpse of a pulse, but it fades, and a hand does move, it doesn't grab onto you. Instead, it cracks and tries to reshape itself until it is pointing off in another direction.
I look to where it's pointing.
You sure can. I think maybe this is the moment where Violet and Phoenix come up on all of this as well. You guys are all getting together.
What was that?
So
God, what is that?
yeah, so there were a bunch of birds, weird white birds, and they were crowding around this
Ghost Raven?
whole what?
The Ghost Raven?
Not the ghost raven, just a bunch of
okay.
birds. And Marina used what we taught her. It was great. She was amazing.
Violet, did you hear my feet?
That was so good.
I know, right?
You would have won the whole thing if you weren't judging. No question.
So
we were
proud.
at this Bigfoot yell competition, by the way. She says as an aside to Phoenix, and is a whole thing.
I'm sorry, white birds?
Yeah, but
yeah. But like the yell though, that was like amazing. My girlfriend's amazing.
Yeah, she is. Are the white birds important?
They're sort of harbingers. What were they doing?
They were
tearing apart a mannequin body that was bloody for some reason.
Awesome. Okay. Great. Well, we have a lot of things to talk about. Maybe not outside. We're around or anyone who could be here. Did anything else happen?
It tried to, like, it moved. The hand moved, and it pointed at something.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, it didn't get me.
Okay,
good.
It was kind of freaky though, but it's all right.
Yeah.
If this way?
What did it?
Yeah, and like kind of points in the direction.
Get the flashlight.
Taya turns it in that direction.
What you all see laid out in front of you is a series of tracks. They start as bird tracks, big feet, prehistoric feet. And as they continue off into the mist, they change and become more and more human-like. And by the time the maintenance gravel road cuts through in between sections of plot land, they are lost entirely. But the ones closest to you, the bird ones, pooled with blood. This is another clue.
Oh, nice.
You add it to your sheet.
Okay. Guys, I'm gonna make the executive decision. We're gonna go now. Okay. All right. Great.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
good.
All right.
One thing, and Phoenix crouches down towards the pile of mannequin parts. She starts kind of caving the dirt in on them a little bit. I'm sorry, you guys, but we'll get this all figured out. And be at peace. Sort of covers them back up the rest of the way. Okay, now we can go.
Okay. Yeah, let's my car's right over here. Those
We'll
two.
smash cut to Bertha
Yep.
um, here, and it sounds like we're heading home to Violet's house.
Yeah.
Cool. Who's driving?
Um I think Violet is probably going to hand the keys to someone else.
We come back in. Marina, you've just taken the keys out of the ignition. The designated driver for tonight, bringing Taya and Violet and Phoenix to Violet's home. There's a light on, as there always is on nights where Gavin is waiting to hear if Violet's gonna stay over at Taya's because she had one too many margaritas, or if she's coming home. Until he knows for sure, the porch light is on.
Okay. Let's go in and yeah, get you out of the car, get you out of sight. We'll get all the curtains closed. Nobody will be able to see.
Okay.
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 Okay. All right. Yeah.
She leans in. Is Gavin my or
No, but he would have been the one
Okay.
who raised you.
okay? Just want to make sure that we kind of all knew. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
No, I don't know where that person is anymore. Short version is I was 17 and didn't really have a lot of choice in what happened. Just was young and stupid, and they, at least back then, I don't know if it's different now, they don't really let you be the one to make decisions. Yeah.
If it helps, I don't think I was ever 17, so we can both forget that year.
Oh, okay. We got.
I don't think so.
We got a lot to cover. But yeah, she goes to open the door and then she turns back and and she's like completely forgotten that Marina and like Taya are there, and she like grabs Phoenix's hand and just says, "I just want you to know that I would have kept you if I could have." It's just I just yeah.
This is probably gonna sound weird. The Raven told me,
Ghost Raven?
if that's what you call it, the white one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently he was around back then.
What? That's Violet, like, his brain that has already been like overloaded is like, but ravens don't live that long. Like, that can't be real. And then she's like, this is not even the weirdest thing. We're gonna compartmentalize that right now. This is not the time.
More to explain.
Yeah. Let's go inside. Let's go inside. And she's gonna like go get the door open. And she's gonna stay like right next to Phoenix the whole time. And she's almost gonna like step in the house to like warn Gavin. And she's like, I can't walk away from you because you might disappear. So she's like hovering.
What are you gonna say? You guys hear Gavin? He's singing in the kitchen, just making something for dinner.
Is Murray singing with him?
Murray is doing the punctuation, so it's like Gavin. What is he making for dinner, Violet? What would be a normal dinner in your household?
Ooh, we were talking about this in real life the other day, and it's cold, so like risotto sounds like a good mushroom risotto. Sounds really good.
Yeah, so you hear Gavin go, you gotta chop the mushrooms, and then you hear Murray go, chop, 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 and then you gotta dice the onion, dice, 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 and they're like, it's a call in response that they have been, because you've been gone a lot of nights before, so they've really been each other's company for the nights that you have spent over at Taya's. So he has no idea you all have entered the house because he's singing the mushroom song. He's singing the prep song.
Yeah. I I love that so much. That's so cute. Violet grabs Phoenix's hand, and she just trusts, like, Marina and Taya have been here long enough. Like, she's just like, can you grab the windows? She knows they're gonna lock the door. They know the drill. Um, and she's like, hun, Gavin, I have somebody that I would like you to meet. And Marina
Oh,
and
another
Taya
plate
are
for
here.
dinner? Oh, more plates. 3? 3
Yeah,
plates? Okay.
I'll help. But just if you can, she's gonna be walking towards the kitchen as she does this. Just drop anything sharp for a second.
All right. And you hear like the sound of a knife like on a cutting board, and you hear him go, "Now, Murray, none of this nonsense like last time. Murray stays over there. This stuff stays over here. Okay?" And you hear Murray do his quintessential like, "Good bird. My good Murray's the best." So, like, I would never, but we know Murray. We know Murray loves a treat. So, we'll see what resolves of the risotto after this. But yes, Gavin sets his sharp things down and starts heading towards your voice.
Yeah. And she'll walk into the kitchen. She didn't want him to fall or anything with like a knife in his hand, or drop it on a foot. You know, that could be bad. But yeah, she pulls Phoenix into the kitchen and is like, Phoenix, this is Gavin. Honey, this is I found her. Well, I guess she found me is more accurate. Yeah. You can sit down if you need to.
Yeah. Wow. Hello. He says shakily as he like finds a chair to sit in. Pretty much immediately. Oh, welcome home, oh, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, are you hungry? He just like immediately is like, okay, what can I do in this moment? Because we're making risotto, but we're gonna have to maybe toast some bread. We're gonna maybe need a side with this to sort of stretch it.
Yeah, we'll get yeah.
Wow, you look just like your mother. How lucky are you?
Violet just starts crying and is just watching them.
Phoenix really hasn't said anything, but she seems to be smiling. It's been a big day, obviously.
Yeah. Do you wanna get changed? I've got some extra clothes. You can grab whatever works for you. And sit down, and we'll get you some food.
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And this is Murray. She points over to Murray.
Oh no, I met Murray.
Wait, you met Murray?
Oh, you and I talked at the.
Oh God, that's. Do you want your cheese hat back?
No, I heard it doesn't go with the outfit.
Well, but we can get you a different outfit, and maybe that'll go with that. I didn't know.
It's okay. You were right. That's kind of a bad dichotomy, juxtaposition between them. Yeah, let me I'll go get changed.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you. Should have over to Gavin, and you too. Over to Murray. Again, re-meet you.
Yeah.
I guess. Sorry about the dead people.
Yeah, Violet will just she like is like, well, we'll be right back. I'll take over dinner. Don't worry. To Gavin, and is like, here, I'll show you where my room is, and you can grab whatever's most comfortable for you. I think also Taya and Marina have some stuff in the guest room that they've left, so feel free to steal anything of theirs if you want to. It's all fair game.
Okay, thank you. I think she'll go do that. You take over dinner. Gavin takes his heart medication that he forgot to take earlier, but now definitely has been reminded he should be taking.
Yes.
And I think we'll check in on Taya and Marina. Violet sort of left you all in the dust getting Phoenix in here, which you understand. It's a big day. So what are you guys doing in Violet's house?
I think Taya is like totally fine with just letting Violet have her moment, and with Gavin and Phoenix. And I think after like shutting all the shutters and like locking the door, I think Taya like grabs Marina's hands and goes, "Hey, we should get you all cleaned up. You know, take care of you." And then like pull her into the nearest like bathroom and just like wash her hands and then like reach up and brush some like probably had some blood on your face and she's just like wiping it off. Um, and I think Taya's gonna like stare for a while and just, gosh, you're so beautiful.
Even though I'm all full of blood and just did a silly old Bigfoot hoot.
I think you did great, and I wouldn't want to have you any other way.
I think we hear a bit of like maybe muffled things of what they're saying, and I'm even imagining them like as they're closing the curtains and doing all that stuff, trying not to be intrusive, um, and maybe taking away or continuing the song of like chopping up the onions.
Yeah, Taya's like doing the
Call
callback.
This feels like as good of time as any. This feels entirely cozy and wholesome and warm. If you have a condition that you can clear, go ahead and clear it. My friends, we are coming to the end of night phase here. Risotto is had with all. And over dinner, Phoenix feels safe enough to share some things. So I'm going to spare the literal 2-hour conversation we could have and give you the nuts and bolts of what you learned. And if you have any follow-up questions, you can ask me. First, she said she was never 17. This is factual. She cannot recall a time 17. She cannot really recall anything past being maybe 12 or 13. For at least, I would say, a good 15 years. She remembers being a preteen, and then she was an adult. And everything in between, she cannot recall.
13 going on 30.
Yeah, that's her condition for sure. So she does look younger than what her age should be. She thinks it's because she spent time in the void. That while she was there, she did not age. And then when she was released, she began aging once more. The people who adopted her were well and nice and kind. And they died. They died in one of the early attempts to send adults through the portal. Of course, she was not an adult. No! Megan can't hear me. They died and then you were gone, but you back. Okay. Her parents were well and nice and kind, but they did pass, unfortunately. They were willing participants in trying to send adults through these thin spots, these ley lines, these connections. But as we know from spots and stripes, adults don't do well. Not without certain protections, at least. They did not survive their willing attempt. And Phoenix, none the wiser about what was really happening, did. She was there for an indeterminate amount of time before then someone else came through and then she was released. She's been back and forth a few times since then to this place where the Dodo lives. So she knows well of George Maplethorpe and has had many conversations with the young man. Phoenix explains that she has suffered a lot of memory loss as a result of this. And while she did start helping you all out of her own free will and trying what is occurring from occurring now, it wasn't out of this connection to Violet initially. She didn't know she was related. Thought it was odd that you guys looked similar, but people look similar all the time, and she hasn't seen that many people, to be fair. But that mannequin hallucination, coupled with the ghost raven, and I think that could have been the same drug dream. I can't remember if it was one or both, where the ghost raven was there present at Phoenix's birth. And you were like kind of the ghost raven as well. So all of those things, while not maybe real in the physical material world, were real enough to start jogging some latent memories, some curiosity. And the more that she connected with you and supported the three of you in sort of undermining the midwives, she realized it maybe a month or two back. But there's real danger in that connection. You know, if the midwives found out of how much betrayal she was doing, they would not hesitate to serve up another heart. It could have just as easily been Violet in that room dying instead of JJ had she blown her cover too soon. But there comes a time where the danger is present no matter where you look, and in seeing everything geared up towards the end, Mariah's determination, Corinne's exuberance, the Madison Hapsbury, Hudson Finch, you know, the loss of some other cult members like Arden going to jail, things coming to an end made it really apparent that it was now or never. So, defection. Leaving in the middle of planning, knowing that she herself was supposed to be an integral part, one of the missing children, to be present at this party, to try to help you all. And she fears that they're going to come and get her too, because she's supposed to be there. She's got an invitation just like Marina, but she's had hers for a very, very long time. You learn all of this over dinner. Any of you have any questions about what you've learned before we wrap up and move to daytime?
I think Violet will ask lots of little things just about, I think, kind of interspersed with, like, I'm assuming a lot of this is hard for Phoenix. So Violet will ask silly little things like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Like things like that, just like trying to get to know her and maybe make it a little bit easier to talk about this. But
there's a guy who sells hot dogs with fortunes at the mall. Love those.
Oh, we'll have to go get some. We can all go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And Violet like looks for like a pen, and I think Gavin probably like holds her hand and is like kind of nods at her, being like, "You'll remember hot dog fortune."
It's Seabury. We can go to the mall. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, and then I think at the end of everything, Violet absolutely starts crying partway through, and just she can't stop herself. But I think, but you, I almost said Basti. Marina, George always sounded like a little boy, right? Like, why is it? Is George different from you? Like,
I George hasn't ever left.
oh,
I don't really remember becoming older, but honestly, I don't remember a lot of things. So I think maybe I didn't age while I was there, or maybe I just aged really quickly, or maybe those years are gone forever and I just emerged as an adult. I don't know. But he was young when I was there.
um,
Can't hear you, Marina.
I can just say, I I still hear him as very young. When I see him, he's still like a little boy.
So it makes sense if he hasn't come back to this plane of reality, then yeah, maybe that's the theory. You don't age while you're there. I mean, how can a dodo be alive? They're supposed to be extinct, but if it doesn't ever age,
I think more to like herself and like just maybe not a question that she's intending to be answered, but just a question that she's wondering of just like, why would they just keep him there like perpetually? She's gonna like sighs and just hopes that at the end of all of this, there'll be some kind of answer for George, some kind of happy ending like we're now seeing for Phoenix.
I don't know. I mean, I only learned so much, and even then, there are things that, Corinne learned from her family that none of us will ever know, maybe, or things that Mariah keeps hidden. They're definitely the two in charge, but as to why someone has to be there, I don't know.
Did we already know about Corinne?
Oh, she's like in charge. Corinne Whately, the great whatever granddaughter of Atticus Whately, the like guy all about ley lines and magic.
Like, I mean, I knew she was, seventh step, ninth step, and all of that, but I didn't.
Yeah, the
Whoa!
party's the ninth step.
What do you mean?
I heard her call it the party's the ninth step.
what?
What? Well, we're steps 1 through 8.
Yeah.
I only can guess at some of the things. I imagine they might be different than the steps she tells people at her business. But no, she can go through those things. She's the one who pulled me out.
Oh my god!
Oh.
I mean, I thought she was the one that was like, Mariah's kind of like lackey or just around her, but I never thought they were involved in. Well, maybe Mariah, but not Corinne. Something like this.
The way I kind of understood it is that they are working towards a common, not even necessarily a goal. I think they have different goals, but a common path to make their goals happen. They are aligned, though they wield those goals and those powers and those paths in different ways. Let me tell you, I'd much rather, I don't know, I feel like with Mariah, so calculated and official and persistent. And I feel like Mariah would tell you what you needed to know to do the things you needed to do. And that's it. Corinne, there is something, I mean, it makes sense. She's been back and forth through the veil so many times. She's a bit like you, and she points over to you, Marina. Connections to other things. otherworldly, different planes. She's been through through the veils so many times. Like, it's got to scramble your brain a little bit.
And how does she go through the veil? Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. She's the only adult I know who can do it without,
Yeah.
that it must be something that, I don't know, she was born with or learned from her family, found on her own.
Do you remember how it was whenever you, I guess, emerged? Where you were or anything?
I came up in it was different than where I went in. We went in like in a park or something.
Okay.
It's kind of overgrown, but kind of near woods.
Like the Fen?
Yes. I don't. Sure. It was kind of bog-like. Sure. A little wet ground.
Is there a bench there?
I don't remember.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah. But I went in near the quarry.
Where all of the mannequins were.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys all have things like firearms, right?
Arena would.
Just in case windows get broken or anything like that.
I think Violet like looks at Gavin kind of lost. I think we've got some bear spray somewhere.
I have many sharp objects, and will like pull out her like little crocheted crystal bat.
Taya pulls out her
Okay.
knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Just I know they're already starting to suspect me, and I'm just worried. That's all.
Yeah. It's okay. I should also before we go to bed, I should make a phone call and maybe see if we can get some extra people just keeping an eye outside. Just in case. It can't hurt. Yeah.
Do you pick up your phone and look at it when you say that?
Yeah, I think she will. As she's thinking about making a call.
I don't know if you necessarily need to make a call. You do have a text message from I don't know if you added Nikki Naff as a contact.
Yeah, I think she would have. I think she added it when she got the number, and it says Nikki Naff -werewolf ? Exclamation point, exclamation point, like before she confirmed it, and she never changed it.
You have it's a picture message of Nikki and T-Bone.
Aww.
And their T-Bone is flipping the camera off, but Nikki Naff is just staring blankly ahead. But what you see behind them is your front door.
Oh, I guess I don't need to make a call anyway. That works. And I think she goes to the front door and is like, "Hey, have you guys been waiting here long? Presumably they're there."
Yeah, Nikki is sitting on the ground in the grass, and T-Bone has his phone up. Yeah, no, I'm like 15 minutes or so. Nikki said we had to stop by before we did anything else.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, if y'all are gonna be around tonight if you could help maybe keep an eye on the house. We've got. She kind of looks inside. I don't think I have enough time to explain everything to you.
That's
But
fine. I don't want to know.
honestly, that's probably better. But we're might be in a little bit of a dangerous spot. And just yeah. Do you want some bear spray?
No, I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
The whole he looks over at Nikki and Nikki nods and he goes, whole pack's here. We're good.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Do you? I can order some food for you guys. Do you guys like pizza?
No, we dabble in locally sourced food. We'll be all right.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you need any, if you need anything, let me know. But thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, owed you a favor, and we had some packages to drop off and things. Right, Nikki? And Nikki just sort of down there sitting. Uh, yeah. Well, you called, and we're here, and we're all here. So we're a bit nocturnal too. So don't
Oh,
get
okay.
scared if you hear us out and around.
Yeah. No worries. I think we'll be good. Marina already did a little Bigfoot yell earlier, so I think we're ready for loud noises. For sure.
All right. Well, we'll go get some dinner. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. Just wanted to let you know we're here.
Yeah. Thanks. Sorry, big things tonight. I wasn't looking at my phone, but yeah, thanks. And like I said, just come, knock on the door, get us if you need anything.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Violet will close and lock the door, and then with the phone still in her hand, I think she is gonna send another quick message. Um, and since she didn't know they were there, this was the first person she thought of. I think she sends a quick text to Wyman,
What do you
and
text Wyman?
she is a little bit careful, but I think she sends a message and is like, "Hey, might have some news for you soon. Maybe we can catch up tomorrow."
Do you have your red receipts on?
Yeah, I think she would.
You see that it's red, but you don't get any response.
Okay. I think she just like closes the app and like, darkens her phone screen. Is like, that's I don't even have the capacity right now to try to figure that out. Hopefully he's fine and not stupid. So that's what we're hoping for. And then joins returns back to everybody.
All right. I think it's time to move today. That's all right with all of you. As a little recap, as we move into the day phase, you have 7 clues, which is enough to theorize. Complexity 6 on this. You can only gain 2 more clues before you cannot gain any more, and you must theorize. What we're going to do this day phase is a sequence of any last scenes you want to get done before you theorize, things you guys want to go look at, investigate, find more out about. Phoenix will not leave your home um, to go anywhere else, especially with you all fearing that it's going to be extra dangerous. Um, though she is available for you guys to ask information from, provided you are at Violet's house. Gavin did definitely worry about risotto for the innumerable amount of people outside, but was quelled. You don't know how many members of the hardcore are here and how many of them are like T-Bone and Nikki Naff and maybe part of a more interior pack. But they are also out and about should you want to talk to them.
Can I really quick have a dumb little thing either the morning or that night?
Sure.
I think because you're saying part of like T-Bone's people are werewolves too, right? Just
Yes,
what it seems
absolutely.
like.
Part of the
Perfect.
motorcycle gang are werewolves.
Okay,
Okay.
Incredible.
I think Violet takes a minute to grab Taya when she can aside, and she's just like, "Look, you don't like have to tell me if you don't want to, but was Grace a werewolf?"
What are you talking about?
Well, but they're werewolves, and she was part of the like the biker group, and apparently a bunch of them are werewolves. And I just thought it was Nikki Naff and her pack, but apparently it's some of the bikers too.
I mean, are you sure they're not like furries? They seem like furries.
I like don't think so. I'm like pretty sure. Like I'm
In the
I'm very
distance,
confident.
a wolf howl goes off.
I swear I didn't make them do that. I didn't even touch my phone. I don't know if they can use phones like that.
I mean, I don't know, because I mean, Grace was pretty great at taking directions, but you know,
I don't think that's the only criteria. Taya, that's not the only criteria. Hey,
Yeah,
are
but
you
it was
great
like-
at taking directions? You can be a werewolf. That's
it was the
We
first thing we said.
fade from this conversation.
Beautiful.
You guys were having panicked in the middle of the night about whether or not Grace is a werewolf.
Yeah, Marina now thinks that maybe Taya has a type after her whole hoot. It's like, okay.
And that's about all on that thread that I can allow to be here on this video. So we cut to the day. We're gonna tee this up like a special. I want to know what each of you want to go and do. And we'll see if we can resolve either of these last two clues in your 3 scenes.
I think before Taya and Violet leave, I think Taya's gonna just check in with Marina and be like, "Hey, are you gonna be okay doing this?"
Yeah, I think Marina's plan is I don't think she's straight away gonna be like, I'm gonna do drugs with this person we just met who's Violet's long lost daughter who's been stuck in the void. I think she's like her intention will probably be to use all of this stuff and then realize that maybe Phoenix could have something like some insight to contribute to it and maybe wants to do drugs. But I don't think that thought's dawned on her yet.
Amazing. Yeah, Taya will just be like, "Well, okay, you have my number on speed dial, right?"
I feel good going into it. I've done it before, so I think I'm gonna be okay.
Okay.
And I'm on speed dial, and there's people around in case I eyes roll back and body floats in the air, and I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. You got this. I trust
Yeah.
you. And then Taya's gonna grab her face and give her a kiss and then head off.
Be safe. I love you.
Love you.
Yeah.
Violet, let's go.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I think while that's happening, Violet is having her own little like farewell, and she like gives Gavin a hug and a kiss, and is like, are you sure everything's gonna be okay while I'm gone? And but
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's Murray you should be worried about.
I worry about Murray all the time. Don't forget his snacks, okay? I'll watch.
How could I forget? He'll remind me.
Yeah. But yeah, we got the healthy snacks, so we don't have to worry about bird diabetes.
Thank goodness. It was
Yeah.
real scary for a moment there.
No. But yeah, we'll
be
back
okay.
soon, and everything's gonna be fine. We'll get it figured out. And
I know you will.
Thanks. I appreciate that. All right. Also, do you want me to buy should we just buy risotto stuff in bulk, do you think, for a little bit?
We definitely need more mushrooms.
Okay.
We're out.
Okay. While I'm out with Taya on the way back, we'll pick up some groceries real quick. At the grocery store that's not exploded. So
Yeah, preferably.
yeah. Okay. And she's gonna kind of hesitate, but she'll go to hug Phoenix on the way out. And yeah, she I think that's what Angeli was just saying. Like when she's like, Violet, we gotta go. Violet is like reluctant to let go. Like she just got her back, but like she has to do the thing. And she like slowly does let go and like, let's Taya whisk her away to the library.
Yeah. And to the library we go. That's where we'll begin. The two of you head into Brindlewood Bay Municipal Library. It is not very big, of course, because Brindlewood Bay isn't very big. Rows and rows of Dewey Decimal System books, accoutrements, some really old computers that still somehow make the dial-up noise. But they're working. They're there. And a couple of community rooms, little offices. Who should be working today but Deputy Librarian Petra?
All right, Violet. It's a good thing we got out of there because I was gonna I was gonna stay again. I know I'm just so worried, but oh, hey Petra.
Oh, hey.
You work here?
Hey. Yeah, I've always worked here.
Okay.
At least, I volunteered first, and then once I graduated, they let me work here.
How many jobs do you have?
A few.
Like, if you had to put a number on it.
I don't know if you can really quantify, like, is it by the way I get paid? Like, only working a couple hours for a place, technically a job.
Yeah.
I just got, we're saving up. Gotta save up for college.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hopefully all legal. I mean, who am I kidding? Anyway,
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I am. That's step number 3.
Wait, step number 3?
Yeah, from the 9 steps. I go to their young adult group.
I think Violet tries to like catch Taya's eye and is like,
yeah, like,
yeah. Yeah.
Got gas or something?
Trust me, when you get old, it's just terrible, Gotta worry, you get gas.
Well, you could stay young forever.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something, huh? Do you know a way to stay young forever, speaking of?
No, I'm sure you can find some stuff on the Fountain of Youth in there if you want. You just have to check, and she like rattles off a Dewey Decimal like section.
Okay,
that sounds like a great place for us to go look. Yeah. Okay. Violet stops herself from staying. Did you know, like, sometimes step programs are the way to a cult? That seems bad, and just like grabs Taya. And...
Yeah, Taya like goes, I'm glad you know that everyone dies someday. Bye.
Okay, we gotta
Wonderful.
You gotta start saying weird things to young people, Taya.
I don't know what came over me. Sorry.
That's okay. I forgot about her working for like the 9th step though. That's like,
yeah,
that's like Bad News Bears.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, like I wouldn't think of all, like, come on, of all people, Petra's involved in a cult,
right?
Like,
I didn't. But maybe she's not. Maybe she's just, trying it out or something.
You don't think they're gonna sacrifice her, do you?
Taya's gonna look back at Petra just to see if she's looking brainwashed or something.
She's on her phone.
I don't think so. I think she'll be okay.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Wait,
cool.
Actually, let me try something. Petra, see you at the party?
Oh, you guys going to the party? I'm really excited for the restoration, like, opening.
Oh.
Amelia was telling me all about it.
Us too.
Oh, cool. I heard there's gonna be lots of cheese there.
Sorry, we lost the address where it's at. Do you know where to go?
The celebration of the restoration project for the Brindlewood Bay Fen. Well, wouldn't it be at the Fen? It's sort of an open thing. Well, it's kind of like, you know, where the fen and the old grocery store
Mhm.
meet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like Mariah's donating all that land to become part of the fen. So,
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
guys read the newspaper?
Oh,
I thought you were all about newspapers at your age.
You know, I'm getting older, so I'm a little forgetful.
when you're this close to death, you know, sometimes things slip by. It just happens. Anyway, don't worry about it. It's fine.
I wasn't worried.
Good. Okay. Well, don't worry. We'll be there. It'll be great. I'm sure. You said this way to the Fountain of Youth. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Violet, that was so weird.
Yeah. I can't believe. I can't believe like she's like feeling good about the party. This is insane. This is crazy.
Right,
Are
but
we crazy?
I
This
mean,
is just a party. Are we sure this is a cult? I'm having like, it's gotta be.
it's the same party, right? It has to be.
Yeah. And like, you
One-
were there.
I need to ask you guys a question. You're in a new location.
Ooh.
In what ways has the Brindlewood Bay Library been affected by the midwives of the Fragrant Void?
Oh.
You all can answer this. So, Marina, you too.
Yeah, you're a book person.
Yeah. Ooh.
I don't know. My first thought that would be really like creepy in a library was that all of the books look the same. Like the titles are all what the titles were, but they're all look the same size and the same height, and like they're all like perfectly neatly on rows, which is not how books work. That's just not how they work.
That's delightfully unsettling. I love it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't like it.
I think even though it's something that is very new, there's a lot of like ninth step, maybe like propaganda.
Ooh.
Wait,
Like,
isn't
maybe,
there?
like a little section of it that is like books that are like akin to the ninth step, like philosophy and things like that. What are you gonna say?
Is there like a flyer for the party as soon as they turned around to go back to like the aisles?
Yeah, there's like
they're
a
oh.
historic donation, like new, like when they print the newspaper really big. Like
Yeah.
Petra just sort of points you all over to it from your news conversation that talks about, again, sort of this news in town that it got through city council that Mariah can donate this land and sort of be charged with her charitable arm, the Society of the Kindly Ones, and the Coalition for a Better Brindlewood Bay, to help restore this land, turn it from grocery store explosion to more extensive fen.
Cool. All I can think of is all of the books are slightly pushed out so that they're just peeking past, like, you know, when you're looking down a row of books, you can see they're just slightly jutting out, all of them.
Diabolical.
Yeah.
I like it.
Truly malicious.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Take it back.
Masney, what do you think it has changed here as a result of the midwives?
I think just that, like the propaganda stuff, like just the ninth step propaganda, like seeing a lot of like flyers or like,
Sure.
philosophy books around that.
Yeah.
I think anywhere there could be a flyer, it's only ninth step flyers.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yuck.
All right, my library friends, you are looking for what exactly?
I think Violet is looking for anything she can find on lots of the stuff that Phoenix said. I think she's looking for anything on like the Waitley's history in Brindlewood Bay. I think she's definitely looking at like ley lines, if she can find anything about them.
All right. So this can be the meddling move with reason. I would also say you are looking for a lot of stuff that
Mhm.
you know bits and pieces. So I would say you could have advantage on this by virtue of like you have specific things you're looking for. You're not looking for anything that could be related. You are directed research and you're
Yes.
good at finding things.
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes 51 years.
Sometimes it do.
Yeah. All right, let's roll. Oh, heck yeah. That's not. Wait, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just panicked about math.
Top two or what?
Yeah. Well, it's actually the same either top two or top and bottom because I got a 6, a 5, and a 5. So that's an 11.
An 11 because you have no reason modifier.
I got no
So-
reason. I got presence though.
And 11.
Yeah.
You are researching about ley lines and about the Whateleys. And you find stuff about the Whately. You find out that Atticus Whately had sort of a society of fellow scientists and open-minded people that they frequently got together as a book club would and to discuss metaphysical phenomena and really sort of believed in things outside of the material plane, which makes sense. Corinne is the exact same. You know that the Whately family is here, has been here in Brindlewood Bay for a very long time. Because Corinne, way back in our unaired pre-campaign mystery, mentioned just recently arriving back in town after growing up here. And I can't remember if I resaid that later on, or if that morsel just stayed between all of us. So I'm re-saying it now. But what you do find in a historical journal between someone named Hale Willoughby and Atticus Whately is a drawing of a bunch of newly planted trees. And then a second drawing meant to depict the young bark of that tree. And it has been specifically carved or etched in to show a glyph of some sort. In the larger drawing, that little symbol is on every tree. So there's like a close-up of the symbol and then this sort of larger drawing that was maybe shared between these two men that depicts that actual symbol. And while I don't have a symbol for you, I do have this whole thing as a clue that I'm going to go put in your mystery tab. Now, the entire clue is a place in the forest from which every single tree within sight shows a carved glyph facing towards this one singular spot.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. Clue number 8 in the bag. Only one more mechanically that can be gotten. Taya,
Yes.
what are you doing here at the library?
I think just following Violet's lead and like looking around for like old books, maybe something that could give her a clue on like rituals or like Maynard specifically.
Okay. The Gold Crown mystery move. Once per mystery, when any maven says, "This reminds me of what happened to Amanda Delacourt," you guys will describe how something is happening and how this situation is like something that happened in a book from one of the Gold Crown mysteries. At a minimum, you must provide the name of the mystery in question. No repeats, please. The problem or situation Amanda found herself in that's similar to yours, and then how Amanda overcame the problem or resolved the situation. Then you get to do both of these, I believe, from Nancy Drew, aka take a single 12 plus to a relevant role, or state a fact about the current situation that I must incorporate.
Okay.
Hey, Violet, this reminds me of something that happened to Amanda Delacour.
Oh, really? What book was it in?
The Gold Crown Mysteries of. I need to crowdsource it. I can't.
I was thinking like Larcenous Library. Like it's gotta be an L library, right?
Ooh,
Larcenous isn't really great, but
Looming life.
oh, Looming Library. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of dumb words like lecherous library. Like that doesn't work.
The lactating library.
Stop.
Lactate, a real one.
Yeah. Leprous.
The Leeching Library.
The Lowly?
The Lonely Library
Oh,
sounds
I said
good.
lowly, but lonely is better. Oh, the Lonely Library. We need to get.
Oh, that's so cute. Wait, no, that's really cute.
Okay, what happened in the Lonely Library, Taya?
I think. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking out? I think in that book, in the world, all of the libraries had been burned down, and then it was the only library, and it was lost for millennia. And I think Amanda went to go and find it. Yeah, and was looking for a ritual to bring it back, or like to bring it back to the material plane, something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
And how did she resolve her issue?
no, I remember what you're talking about. So, like they had gotten a generator working to get like lights in this library, and then she realized that like, I mean, they hadn't had power for a really long time, so she like turned the lights off, and that was how like she saw some little glowing thing, and that was able to help her find the clue.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, are you guys turning the lights off?
Yeah.
Fully.
Absolutely. I think Violet's gonna very poorly cover this by going by the wall and just like sneezing and falling into the light switch for a minute while Taya looks around.
Yeah.
You hit 7 switches that
Yeah. Just like
well,
like
I'm gonna make you roll for that though.
Okay.
So Taya's still gonna get the 12 plus to her meddling or other roll, and the thing we must incorporate. But you gotta roll vitality to see if you can hit all these switches with your sneeze.
I'd love to clarify. So we're rolling to sneeze.
You're rolling to turn all the lights off
I-
while you sneeze.
I just wanted to say roll to sneeze.
Um, okay.
Okay,
Well,
beautiful.
2d6 plus your vitality to
All
get
right.
these switches turned off. Before you roll them, what could go wrong here?
I mean, she could not turn the lights off, and she could put a hole in the wall. Could be problematic.
Ooh, very
But
fun.
I have a really stupid question.
Sure.
Can I get advantage using my Bigfoot Yell finalist trophy because it was like an acting experience thing and using your whole body to Bigfoot Yell? the reminder of that experience.
So mark it off.
Okay.
You remember this trophy on your mantle and you decide to give it your all here.
I guess she could just physically have the trophy in her hand and use it to hit more of them too, if that's better.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah,
I'll
3d6,
leave
keep your
now.
top 2.
Okay. But yeah, punching a hole in the wall feels problematic with no lights off. Okay. Ooh, okay, cool. That is a 10.
All right. You do it successfully. We're going to actually cut back to Taya in the interest of time. But yes, you do sneeze, and it is very convincing, and you turned all of these off. Taya, the lights are off. You're finding what you need.
Sick.
So I imagine you're taking this 12 plus on a meddling?
Yes.
Okay. And that you do. Now, this library is a little fucked up, is it not? And all of the books are like slightly pushed one way, and they're all the same width and height and everything.
I'm so sorry. Can I make a quick addendum because I just had a thought of what if we get it dark and you use the flashlight? Because that seems cooler.
Yeah.
We don't have to. I just was like, that would be really cool.
Up to you, Taya.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
Taya's gonna pull out the flashlight. I love it.
And you find a trail. It takes you to another row and down underneath all of the books, sort of like underneath the bookshelves themselves here, there's something sticking out. You find you're looking for things about rituals, and sometimes for rituals you need an assurance. You need people there to protect you, because rituals, as we know, can be quite vulnerable. What you find instead of something about a ritual in this moment is evidence of hired security, but they were paid in something much more sinister than money. Whatever these security people got in the receipt or this note or whatever you find that proves it is recent. This fell out of someone's pocket here in the library, and aren't you the lucky duck who found it? Hired security for a party.
Cool. Yeah, I pick it up.
Yeah, what do you think they're getting paid in? Do you want to decide it now, or do you guys want to fold it into your theory?
We can fold it into our theory.
Sounds good. You also get to decide a fact, something I must incorporate because you get both uses of the Gold Crown Mystery move while Nancy Drew has not been burned. So, what's something you want me to incorporate? And then we'll cut to Marina.
Violet, some help.
Yeah. Okay. So something much more sinister than money. I mean,
Well,
okay,
we
so
can wait on that
thinking
one.
of the two. That's
Yeah.
true. We can wait on that one. A fact about the current situation. I don't know if we want to do this. I think this might take up too much time, but I did have the random thought that Carolyn shows up here. We should probably leave her in the hospital though.
We should leave.
I can make that work if you want.
What do you think? You got any other thoughts?
I was
Angela?
thinking, what's her name?
Petra?
Newt's.
Oh,
Amelia?
Amelia.
I just looked at you and said, Angeli.
Me, I show up in the narrative.
And you're excited about Newts.
Yeah.
It's Amelia's cousin.
Amelia or Carolyn?
Ooh.
Vassie, what do you think?
That's tough.
It's like our two favorite people.
I know
Yeah.
it really is.
It really is. What's more
Wait.
juicy? What?
Maybe Carolyn, because someone hasn't gotten the chance to blunk her yet.
You could.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we gotta do it quick though.
Okay,
We're
yes.
running out of time.
No, we're gonna blunk. Okay, Violet has her trusty flask in her pocket, ready to blunk Carolyn.
You guys want Carolyn in this scene, and it is a Carolyn that she was already here in the library. Turns the corner. She can't be more than 12 years old. She looks at the two of you. She'll start walking away unless you do something.
Carolyn? She's just gonna like take the flask real quick and take a shot and then blunk her.
All right. So our final Maven blunking Carolyn. Yes. So get blunked. You take a drink of liquor, you asynchronously wink, and then between the timing of that, you can get vision from this other person, as well as some discretionary uh, knowledge about how they're feeling, what they've seen, etc. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus.
0. Right?
Quick
Yes.
Has to be?
question.
Uh huh.
Since since we don't have any more like space for clues, could we use the gold crown mystery on Blunk, and then maybe Marina's just like not doing the whole octane seance thing, especially
Just
for
like
like
having a
the sake of
moment.
time, but just have a moment of like setting everything up, like in like getting ready to theorize essentially, and then just like conversing with
Yeah,
Phoenix. Is that
Okay.
you absolutely could if you want to use your burn your Nancy Drew right here and get that second use.
Ooh,
Get a 12 on your get blunked with young Carolyn.
that's really juicy. If you're, yeah, I think Vastny, if you're okay with a narrative
100%?
thing, I think I will do that. So I think
She's had
she's
enough seances. It's
we've had
fine.
We have so many
yeah.
nuances. You haven't
Um
had your blunt with Carolyn.
we got a blunt Carolyn, yeah. So I think I'll take that. So I think what she does is she's like, Violet has been through so much, and she's gonna turn. So she like is like, "Hey, Carolyn, hold on," and then she turns to Taya. Is like, "By the way, I've been one of the writers for the Gold Crown Mysteries move, and the whole time, and I really appreciate that you liked the library book." And then she's gonna take a shot and blunk. Taya's like almost gonna fall over. Like, what?
Violet wrote The Lonely Library, and here she is taking a shot so she can switch consciousness with a child. Just another day as a maven. So you take an automatic success, a 12 plus to this. So
Mhm.
on a 12, I know we don't have 12 condition here. What do you want to know in this moment as you feel this connection begin to tether yourself to young Carolyn?
Okay. I think in this moment, knowing everything that Carolyn has been through and knowing that to some extent Phoenix has been through this too, I think her thought is, does Carolyn know anything to help save these children?
What an interesting question to ask the young one. Your vision starts to swim. And you see 5 mannequins, each dressed a different way. A mannequin in a baseball uniform, one wearing a white Easter dress, one with some sort of 80s patterned sweater on, a few more. One that is wearing the same clothes that young Carolyn is wearing in front of you. And as you feel around for, does Carolyn know something that will help these children? She just keeps showing you these 5 mannequins.
Okay.
Specifically,
Okay.
you can see that they're very well taken care of. Every other mannequin looks drab compared to these 5. And whatever, she can't really converse with you, but these 5 are important. They must be integral to what's going to happen. And they're also tied to the quote unquote 5 missing kids of Brindlewood Bay: George, Phoenix, Corinne, Carolyn, and Spots. The only 5 that have quote unquote survived passing through the veil. So whatever these things represent in the course of the party or ritual or whatever the cult, the midwives of the fragrant void are trying to do, these are important. When you come back, she literally fades from existence right in front of you.
Oh. Did you see that?
What do you mean you've been writing the mysteries this whole time?
And we
Ah.
cut.
It's like setting aside this child that just disappeared into thin air.
This is more shocking to Taya than anything we've seen.
Viewers at home, that conversation that we cut from, there's definitely some gaslighting from Violet going, I just figured you knew. Like, I always got early copies of the books. Like, I just thought you knew.
I just thought you were bribing someone.
As the two of you leave, and you won't really have time to interact, you just start to hear it as the door is shutting, and there's not enough time in the day to take care of every issue. Petra begins to say something, and she repeats it over and over. As it is below, as it is below, as it is below. But if you turn back, she stops. You do not have time to interact. Just maybe it didn't even hear it. Who's to say? Maybe that's the squeak of the door. But we're going to leave you two coming with that knowledge and everything that you learned. We're coming over to Marina. Marina, tell us about this setup with Phoenix that you've got going on.
Yeah, I think, oh, poor dear sweet Gavin. Marina's probably like commandeered like the dining room table, and there are just the spookiest shit. Like,
Yeah, he had to move all of his miniature trains for this.
I'm so sorry. And in the place of a really well taken care of miniature train is a human heart in a jar, and just all the spooky things. And gosh, and I think she's just kind of like setting it all up, and I think she's hyping herself up to do the tea thing, but is a little extra nervous because of all of the things that has happened since. And yeah, I think she's just making sure that everything's perfect. She wants it to go well. But yeah.
I think Gavin at some point comes up from downstairs, sees your setup after putting away all of his trains, and goes, okay. And he just turns around and goes right back downstairs.
Like barely and like continues to set everything up a little for him.
Phoenix comes in the room and spots the heart and goes, oh, so Hudson gave that to you.
Yeah. Oh, you knew Hudson?
Yeah, I knew Hudson.
I'm so sorry for all that you've experienced. I mean, we've only been around it, impacted by it through people we've known and situations that have happened, but you were in it. You were so in it. That must have been awful.
The part that turns your stomach is that there are several parts that maybe weren't so awful, and you don't remember who you are or what you're doing and why you're doing it. It's any waypoint is better than nothing at all. And so, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are things that I do not remember that I wish I didn't do. And at the beginning of it all, I think I really believed in what we were doing because I didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
So there are probably, like it's a wild, horrible situation to be in, but there are things that I did within that situation that were just as compliant as Hudson giving you that, or Madison and what I can only assume to be the Black Mark ritual. Things like that.
But I mean, you were just a kid when you got in there, and even though you were grown up when you came out, you didn't have any experience being a grown up, and they it kind of molded your experiences for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're with Violet. Violet's wonderful. Violet's the best you'll ever get. She's the best any of us will ever get. A great friend, a great wife, and a great birder, if Murray's any judge of character, which he is. Murray's a bird.
I gave her a birdhouse. I think it's out back.
She was so excited to get it. I have all these pictures of her setting it up.
Oh, good. Marina, is it sort of sits down maybe across Danny's heart, not Danny, oh gosh, JJ Robbins' heart between you. I should hate them, but I don't. I should be upset at what they did through me. That makes sense. I should be mad. I'm not. I'm not mad at them. I'm not angry. I'm upset at the end goal, but like, I should be mad, shouldn't I?
Anything you're feeling right now is valid. What do you feel since you don't feel mad?
I don't know. Of course, I'm happy to be with all of you, but I want to be mad because I think that would be an easier feeling to feel than, I don't know, fear, grief. These are people I knew for a long time. Yeah. And you all are so welcoming, immediately so welcoming when I have been a part of something that is actively trying to end the world. And that aside, I shouldn't feel this lonely. I'm with people who care.
I think she just hugs her. And like in this hug, just like still embracing, just says, so much of your life was in such a strange and twisted situation. You're gonna have so much time and so many good people around you while you unpack so much of what's been done to you and around you. It's okay to feel everything you're feeling. I'm just like rubs her little back.
Yeah, I think she keeps trying to start to say something, but is just met with more visceral emotion. She can't talk through it, so you get sputterings and bits, sobs of really a child grieving.
Yeah.
Really a young adult realizing the world is much different. All of these cornerstone events that someone would normally have throughout the course of their life, here is 30 years worth of trying to find your own voice.
Yeah. I think Marina understands it to like a very like distant degree of like feeling such conflicting emotions. Like for when Ryan died, feeling like I loved this person so much and I'm going to miss them very much, but also now I feel a very new kind of freedom. And having like very conflicting emotions there and not knowing how to feel or letting one feeling overcome another, but then imagining that in someone who has not been allowed to live a full life. And yeah, it's grieving like a kid. So I think she just gives her the space and gives her like the embrace to kind of feel all her feelings.
At the end of that, sort of getting cleaned up and cleaning off your shoulder and whatnot. Thank you. I think because and don't take this the wrong way or anything, but I know less about you, so it's kind of easier to say.
Okay. We'll have plenty of time to all of us to get to know each other. We're kind of your mom, Tay and I. We're kind of a package deal, so we'll be around a while.
I'm aware. We had specific meetings about all you three.
Oh, I would love to see the notes.
No, I'm hungry. Maybe I'll a leftover risotto. She sort
Well,
of
let me make you something, and like just like sits her down and like goes to the kitchen. It's like I need to make you food.
yeah.
The older Hispanic lady in her needs to feed the screaming child.
Yeah. Yes, I think we'll leave them there. Well, welcome back, players. I'm saying this right to you guys. We took a little break, and whether this is the beginning of another episode, who's to say? I'll decide that in post, but for right now, it's as it is below time. It is time to theorize. Now we are in the void mystery of Dead as a Dodo, which is our final mystery of the campaign. And the three of you, your mavens, have been tasked with answering a simple question. Where and what time is the real party? What is the manner of the ritual that occurs at the real party? You need to answer those questions using the clues you have at hand. If you use all 9 clues, you roll with a +3. The tiers are the same in the final theorize. A 12 and higher, anything a 10 or higher, you are taking it down. You save the day. You will tell me how it happens. You'll get the opportunity to stop the ritual and defeat the midwives. On a 7 to 9, your theory is going to be correct, but there's going to be a complication to this resolution. Maybe you're not getting there in time. Maybe Anti-Taya is getting a little bit impatient about her date. Maybe something occurs. There'll be a bit more mechanical resolution, 1 or 2 rolls to see if we can get this thing squared away. If you somehow roll a 6 or lower, it's back to the drawing board. Not only will there be a complication to sort of that timeline resolution because the party is coming up, but you do need to get another clue and or re-theorize and answer the question in a different way. We bring you guys back now to a place that you know and love and have rented out faithfully for years, where your tea and your whiteboards and many a theorizing discussion about books that may or may not have been written by people in the same room have occurred. Here at the Candlelight Booksellers on the top floor, the three of you have locked yourselves in because you have one last mystery to figure out. Where and when is the real party, and what is the manner of the ritual it will host? You have plenty of clues. I will say them out loud now, and then the floor is yours. Your clues. A young preteen Carolyn Greenleaf handing you a birthday party invitation in the woods. Playing cards that have images of carrion birds devouring people. Take Me Out to the Ball Game, warbling in ancient tones, and the grass pulsating in rhythm with that melody. A floppy disk containing photos of every person who has gone missing. A flashlight that occasionally reveals odd vapor trails tied to servitors. A flock of albino wild birds pecking at bloody mannequin body parts in a recently dug grave. Dodo tracks filled with blood. A place in the forest from which every single tree within sight shows a carved glyph facing towards one singular spot. And evidence of hired security paid in something much more sinister than money. From these 9 clues, you must discern when and where is the real party and what's going down at it. All right, Mavens, the floor is yours.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I think I have a jumping off idea.
Yes.
And it came to me with evidence of hired security paid in something much more sinister than money, plus what's her name, one that has a million jobs, her
Petra.
comment about Petra, her comment about living forever or immortality. Maybe it's being paid in more years of life, and that's why they're siphoning years of life out of people that they take, like
Ooh.
Phoenix, like George, and things like that.
Oh.
That's my starting point.
That's a diving board. That's not a jumping off point. That is
Yeah, that is.
We're
Yeah.
triple flipping off the high dive.
I love it. Also, it's better than what I was thinking, which please cut this out, Sydney. But the second you started reading evidence of hired security paid in something more sinister than money, my brain went. Because there's cheese at the party. Anyway, it's all.
I'll have what she's having.
Oh
Some
my
of us don't
God.
even need lactate for.
Honest.
Okay, so the theory is life siphoning.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's juicy. Okay. I'm gonna tick them as we go, just so because we got lots of clues to deal with.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was thinking, in terms of the where and when is the real party. Part of me was thinking, I don't know if I can do this, Sid. Let me know if I'm going off script. But I think maybe the date Violet was able to put together the birthday party invitation from Carolyn Greenleaf. I'm wondering if like they picked, because this feels like something somebody like crazy cult person would do. I wonder if it's like Atticus Whately's birthday or the date that like his society was founded or something like that. Like she realized that the birthday party invitation from Carolyn, like that date is this important date. So that's gotta be like the date and time. Is that the viable?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was thinking for the place, I mean, obviously it's a place in the forest, which every single tree within sight shows like a carved glyph. And then, so the Fen party, I think it would be there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And weren't they like gonna, okay, so I'm trying to dig back into our memory and like what we went over, but like, wasn't there a baseball field and then it became the store and then now it's going to become the Fen?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then it would like the Take Me Out to the Ball Game would be playing during those like that time in that area, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ritual would involve all of the missing kids, or which were on the floppy disk.
Okay.
And then I think like I don't know, we can change this up if we wanted
Yeah.
to, but since we found like the birds pecking at the mannequin bodies, like either the people have to be there to stand in for the mannequins, and then birds would come and flock and like kill them, and that's part of the ritual, maybe.
Ooh, horrific.
Yeah. Because that's also with the playing cards. They have cards images of carrion birds devouring people. So that could be in the ritual somehow.
Yeah.
This is just making it creepier, but you saying that kind of using the same clues, not using any more clues or anything, but like made me think of like, what if somehow to like siphon the life, they're like transferring them into these mannequins, and like that's like their consciousness is there, and then somehow like they can like siphon the time from like their body or something. I don't know. Real
Ooh,
creepy shit.
There's
yeah.
also this idea of, I think about the mannequins in particular, a couple of things have happened, right? The image Carolyn showed Violet in the Blanc was of the mannequins pristine. They looked way better. Their parts looked way better. So these could be reject parts. Maybe they got spruced up. We also know from we know as players, but then also I think you could have feasibly learned from Phoenix Corinne's obsession over these 5, being one of the missing people herself, that she's like preparing these mannequins. You also had the moment where Phoenix apologized to the parts in the pit and said something along the effects of like, I'm sorry, we're going to take care of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for sure a part of the people that have been taken, whether it be like bits of their life, bits of their consciousness, are a part of those mannequins. And I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of how to also put "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" because I know that that was in the cliff that like overlooks where the mannequins are, right?
It was, yeah. That is a specific
So
area you were at in that vision. It could be tied to specifically George's mannequin, right? That could have just been your weird connection with George, being present
maybe.
there.
Yeah.
I like this life siphoning idea a lot. It's way cooler than what I was going to come up with.
I wonder, part of me thinks like the Dodo tracks like pooled with blood. I don't know. For some reason this kind of stuck with me with how you were describing like the time gap in like Phoenix's memory, but like what if, oh god, what if the Dodo can't like leave the void for an extended period of time on its own, but what if the Dodo can like hijack somebody else to do it? So like their consciousness is like left in the void, maybe like the mannequin started there or somehow like that, and the Dodo is able to kind of come out into the world for a little bit, like using them, like using their face and do some of their stuff. But maybe that's like getting harder and harder with time, and maybe that's why more and more people were needed. And maybe like George was the start of this, and George, like, it never quite worked right, so he just sort of kept George with him until a point that like he thought he would actually like be useful.
You guys also know there's sort of a one-to-one transitive property. Like when George went in, someone else came out. And even though they've been putting more people in and out, George has always stayed in. I've also had this sort of idea percolating that the Dodo needs George as his ticket out. Like if there's a place for, like they're tied together, the Dodo and George, in some way.
Okay.
Okay.
We established that like it's like Mariah and Corinne are both kind of behind this, right?
Correct. And
What if
Phoenix told you they have different goals, but they're aligned in how to get there.
what if Mariah was the one who came out when George went in? And she's been out the whole time.
Potentially. Could be either one of them.
I don't know. I stick on Mariah because Mariah wasn't a missing kid, right?
No.
So she's not a missing kid, and Corinne is. So I feel that's probably part of it. Part of me feels like it's her.
I'm
and then
trying to.
Yeah, so then the Dodo going out doesn't make sense. Like Mariah's on the outside, like working with the Dodo or something. Then okay. Anyway, sorry, Bastien. Go ahead.
So I'm trying to think how, because maybe like only kids can go in because they have like theoretically like so much more life, and maybe that's why adults can't make that trip. And maybe for some reason they have to keep the kids like in this like nether void place in order to like continue kind of like bit by bit taking life from them. And but maybe they still need to have like a like on the other side, like in the physical world, they need to have like some kind of symbolic thing for them that represents them, which would be like the mannequins. And maybe no one has ever taken from George because he's the youngest, so he has the most life. And maybe the Dodo wants to do something like special with that amount of life. It maybe needs like a whole bunch of power to finally like take it in for himself.
Yeah. What if he's saving him for when he gets out, when the Dodo gets out, and he's like that's when he's gonna use him. Part of me thinks the Dodo track's filled with blood. Part of me, this would be really fucking sad, but with you talking about Phoenix's response, like I wonder if that's somehow connected to like, I mean, being there, like she knew that like her adopted parents were involved in this, and the Dodo tracks pulled with blood are somehow connected to them and what happened to them when they tried to go through.
Potentially. We've got this sort of we have a lot of bird theme, right? Obviously we've got the big white birds, we've got ghost raven, we've got the vulture, the dodo, also called the winged deceiver, the winged deliverer. A servitor trail led you to that sort of area, so it could be that the dodo tracks, they might be the dodo, but they could also be another servitor like Anti-Tea, or maybe they were Anti-Tea at some point, because the tracks change. They changed into more humanoid feet.
Maybe that's the thing that was able to be released from the void when George went in, like that kind of like evil entity or like weird void thing that kind of came out and was able to like do stuff in the real world.
Or what if the servitors are the adults that went through?
Ooh.
Like, and it goes wrong, and like
they become some sort of like fucked up minion.
Yeah, like everybody and maybe nobody on the outside fully understands this. So like it's just like, oh yeah, they died because they become a fucked up minion. Like they're not themselves. They're completely twisted and warped. So like Anti-Tea was initially another person. But when they went through, then it allowed the Dodo to like minionize them and use them however they see fit. So like Anti-Tea and like the vulture and stuff, like they all got twisted being adults going in.
And they all take rituals to summon by the cult. We saw that with the vulture. We didn't see a specific ritual for Anti-Tea. Presumably one occurred. What, Megan?
Sorry, this is dumb. What if it was only one ritual and Anti-Tea is the vulture? Because it says Dodo tracks, but I feel like you also said we could say it was like,
yeah, because it's
really a bird, because they changed. So like, what if this is bird? Like, what if like the reason it was so fixated on Tea the whole time was because the vulture was Anti-Tea? Like we never saw him in the same room. So what if it could
That's true. And the Dodo and Taya had a very long, specific conversation in which the Dodo learned a lot about what Taya cares about.
I hate it, but like I don't know. And that would use the tracks like changing and filled with blood. That would get that clue knocked out.
I still really like the idea of it being what's her face? Not Corinne, the other one.
Mariah.
Mariah. Yeah.
That Mariah was like an initial, like someone who was pulled out.
Yeah, like she was like, I don't know, in my head I'm like, Mariah made a deal with the Dodo Maynard or whatever, and then sacrificed George, and she came out, and then she's like doing the bidding of the Dodo, and like
She wouldn't have. She if she was in there, there's two other people who were, I believe, a Prescott and a Waitley, though not Mariah and Corinne, who are the ones who delivered George to the pond in the first place. Right, Marina? It was like a Waitley and like Marcus Prescott.
Yes. It was, yeah, like senior Waitley guy, Marcus Prescott.
So tying into that, it could be that somehow we don't need to figure out how Mariah got in there.
Yeah.
But a Waitley and a Prescott knew how to get her out. They just needed to trade her for someone else.
Yeah.
Because the Waitleys are all about this sort of metaphysical other plane stuff.
Well, yeah. And she's determined enough. She could have had them staged to get her out after she went in. Like she could have gone in knowing what she wanted and then like had them staged to get her out once maybe she made a deal, like, you know, found information, whatever, like to make her plan work.
She'd have to have been pretty young when she went in because she's old now, and she came out when George went in. Yeah.
What if she's used some of like the life siphoning for her?
For sure.
And like
she's
extended like
very rich.
And
she comes from one of the old Brindlewood Bay families, as the Waitleys are too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've used Carolyn, we've used Take Me Out to the Ball Game, the floppy disk, the birds, the tracks, the place in the forest, and the security. We have not touched on the flashlight or the playing cards yet.
What if the flashlight is part of how they find children who could be good candidates? Like, what if it's not like just grab a child, chuck them in, they'll be fine? What if there's something about like these vapor trails that maybe these kids before they even go in already have like a hint of this?
They're predispositioned.
Yeah, there's like certain kids that are predisposed, and that's how they find them.
Yeah, like Marina.
What?
You have connections to other planes. I'm sure if this flashlight got put on you as a kid.
True. Oh my god.
No wonder you got an invitation to the party.
Yes, I like that idea.
I thought we were about to find out that Marina was a missing child, and I was gonna be like, "What?
Did she ever wear an Easter dress?
An Easter dress? No, that one's Corinne. And canonically, actually, Corinne is the youngest to have gone in, but she was not in there very long. She was 8, which I don't think you guys would have known. But I know because I know all their ages when they went in. Corinne was 8. She was the youngest to go in and was in the least amount of time. But she's the only one who's been back and forth as many times.
Okay.
So the cards.
You guys have gotten many cards, many playing cards throughout this campaign, often depicting people who have died or who are going to die. And in this case, you have birds devouring people. We also know that the card suits were used by the cult as a part. We as players know that those were used to paint with ichor on the masks of the cult members when the vulture was summoned. Not when the vulture was summoned. Yes, when the vulture came back. When a summoning occurred at some point, they put like the diamonds and that shit across their masks.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, fun
maybe-
fact I can disclose to you now. The Joker of that group, the one who got like the J and stayed behind and sunk to their knees, Phoenix.
Oh, I love that.
Fun little fact.
Oh my god, Sydney. Oh,
But yes, these playing cards. How are these
Okay.
tied into where and when or the ritual?
I mean, it's got to be part of the ritual.
Yeah, I was thinking like for the ritual, maybe since they put them around like the dead or they're associated with people who have already died, maybe, and then put them on themselves, maybe that's like the kind of transfer of life. I think that might be something around that is what I'm imagining they're used for.
Because life's a gamble. Gotta have the
Ooh.
right
Ooh.
cards dealt.
Okay.
Like that.
Do we use them all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you guys tell me where and when this party is?
Okay.
The realization hitting.
Earlier at the beginning of Theorize, I was like, I'm gonna be so prepared. I'm gonna have my hand here. I'll just get so pensive.
So before we roll anything, I need to know the official theory
Yes.
of where and when this party, the real party, is.
Okay. Yeah, I think it like is saying okay. So where obviously in the woods, like where the old baseball field and stuff was.
Mm-hmm.
And then is when enough to say like do we just say it's like the anniversary of the founding of Atticus Whately's society, which is like in the next day or something? I don't know, like how specific do
It'll
we
whatever date it'll be, that's gonna conveniently be today, but your rationalizing behind it is like, yeah, it's the date on the invitation or because of his founding, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, it's the date on the invitation, which is also the founding of the society. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so we've got where and when.
Oh god, do we say it's like the summer solstice and they're like taking like children's like
Crowstole.
lives at the top of like at the height of their life? I don't know. Anyway, that's getting
Crow
dramatic.
moon.
Croon, baby.
Croon.
Croon. Okay.
Okay, so we've got where and when, and then the rest of these are to do with the manner of the ritual. Sounds like we have a life siphoning ritual. Hired security will be there. They're being paid in literal extra years. The Dodo tracks are servitor, it sounds like. They are anti-Taya, who was disposing of these bloodied other mannequin bits that didn't make the cut for the final vessels. Is that what we theorized?
Yeah.
For which one?
The mannequin body parts.
In the grave.
Oh yeah.
Cool. The flashlight is to also help find predisposed void children. The floppy disk contains photos of every important missing child who needs to be present for this final ritual. This final ritual, we've got Take Me Out to the Ball Game and the grass pulsating. This sort of was like tying to that place again of like between more of answering the where this is going to occur.
Yeah.
Got it. And then playing cards are a important component of the ritual. These ones depicting carrion birds like vultures devouring people could also connect to the winged deceiver or deliverer, literally siphoning life off of those there in order to be brought into this realm. Suffice it to say, playing cards and their suits are important to this group. Did I name everything?
I think so.
Yes. Do we also need to kind of like touch on why it's important to Mariah and Corinne? Or is that something that we're gonna head into like post theorize?
You don't need it for your theory. I am happy to share with you guys, if you don't get into it post theorize, what those things are. Because I know, and it's been colored by your theory, of course, now more clear. So we'll see if they get monologuing, but you guys might thwart them before monologuing even occurs.
Nice.
Okay.
So we're rolling with a +3, Vasni.
Yep. Okay, can I use anything to give myself advantage?
I am open to deals, but it has to be something everyone does.
We all put on a Crown of the Queen.
Ooh, yeah, my last Crown of the Queen. That'd be
Crown of the
great.
Queen.
Sure. I would allow you to put on a Crown of the Queen. You have an option here, and this is not traditional Brindlewood Bay gameplay. Do not follow us as an example here. You have an option. You can either all put on Crown of the Queen and take an advantage to this roll, or you can all put on a Crown of the Queen, and I will let you bump what you roll 1 tier.
Ooh.
Normally, you only get the bump 1 tier if you all put on a Crown of the Void. Which now, as I'm saying out loud, I'm like, I should make it a choice between them because you all have a Crown of the Void to spare. And I think I will. So, you can either take advantage if you all take a Crown of the Queen, or you can put on a Crown of the Void and bump 1 tier automatically. And I would let you do both.
Ooh, okay, so we should Crown of the Queen for advantage and see where we end up.
Question.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to main add Crown of the Queen, or can I do the Crown of the Queen that's on here?
You can do the Crown of the Queen that's on there.
Okay.
We will, if you guys are successful, I will let you fold these flashbacks into our montage of taking down the day.
Ooh, okay.
Instead of like doing them all right now.
Okay.
Okay. Sick.
Okay. All right, so you have advantage 3d6. Keep your top 2 +3.
Okay, I'm gonna preliminary roll because this is important.
Yeah.
We gotta keep our rituals
It's a good one.
to defeat the ritual.
Ooh, the highest ones were both of Angelie's, and
Oh no, scary.
and I'll do this one. Okay.
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 All right.
No.
What'd you roll?
I rolled 2 1s and a 2. Yeah.
Oh no!
So that would be a 6 total. Would you all like to
Yeah.
put on a Crown of the Void?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Those 2 1s. Boy, do they love peeking
They
into
love being
important
dramatic.
roles.
They were so good in the pre-roll. What the heck?
Oh my god! I just rolled mine for fun, and I got a 2 and a 1. This is.
Wait, I should roll mine for fun. It's a 3 and a 4.
You shouldn't have been so on it for nose goes.
I know, I really shouldn't have.
So, you all already are taking a Crown of the Queen.
Yep.
And then it sounds like we're all also marking the pomegranate kernel.
Yeah.
Lovely. The pomegranate kernel. You gain the condition obsessed with the void. It can never be removed. You all will carry what happens today with you for the rest of your lives.
Fitting.
Fitting. So, your theory is correct, but time is ticking. Son, it took a long time to put this together. You don't have a lot of prep work hours left because the the regular Fen celebration is already occurring, which means the real party is not that far behind. We are going to montage our way to the party. Here's what you can do in your montage scene. Do your Crown of the Queen prompt, and then tell me how your character specifically prepared for the end. And we'll sort of go around the room doing that, and then I'll have you guys arrive there, and we'll see what we arrive to. Sound good?
Okay.
Violet, we're starting with you. What's your flashback as you get ready to head to the party?
I think with what's gone on this game, I think on a slight modification, your fondest memory with one of your children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, or no, never mind, hold on. Not really a modification. I think when even now, I mean, she's got a hole in her heart about Phoenix and that trauma and everything, but I think it healed a little bit and maybe was a little less raw after her oldest daughter Mavis grew up and got married and had her first grandchild. I think being able to see her child begin her own journey of motherhood and raising her children, I think that helped her get through some of those feelings. And while it was never okay after that, I mean, it's never going to be okay, like awful things have happened, I think getting to hold her first grandbaby that first time and kind of see that like life does go on, things will move on, and there will be good things, wonderful things after incredible pain, is something that has helped carry her through the years after everything.
How does that help you prepare now as you get ready to head out?
I think realizing what's at stake and how big of a moment this is, holding on to that and holding on to the thought of then Phoenix getting to meet the rest of the family and getting to meet, Violet's grandchildren, and her nieces and nephews. I think that's what it reminds her what she's fighting for in this moment. Like, what is at stake with this ritual, and what they have the opportunity to save those futures of other children.
We see you getting ready, and then in the other corner of the room, Phoenix also gets ready outside of her cloak in your clothes, because she's got to see to the end of this as well. And we move forward. Taya, what do you flash back to?
I think in this moment, like as we're all getting ready, we're heading towards the end, I think Taya flashes back to the very first time she met Marina, and the overwhelming, like, just wave of just something different, like a different energy, something that sort of encompassed her. And I think they probably met, like, probably at book club, right? And just seeing Marina light up talking about one of the mysteries, and just watching that same sort of like excitement come out of her, like all throughout all the steps that they've come through so far, like Marina making little bracelets for the basketball team, Marina making bracelets for them for good luck when they were doing the like poker night, and just focusing on all of those moments that really made Taya like fall deeply, deeply in love with Marina. the way that she cares for people when she was like holding JJ Robin's hand, like the way that she rushed to help when she was shot and when Isaac was shot, all of those moments, and being able to cheer Marina on even when she was, you know, sprouting out that one of the band members was murdered. Like Taya was right there, so happy and so excited to see Marina so alive and passionate, and she just wants to be there for her throughout anything. So
Yeah. Which prompt was that?
a burgeoning romance. It was the
Lovely.
very last one.
And how do you give us just a sentence or two about what it looks like as you prepare?
Ooh, I think Taya's putting on her jacket, and also like just lightly her like leather jacket, lightly feeling the patch that she had gotten from Pom Pom, that she ironed onto the inside of her jacket, and then looking back at Marina and sort of just reaching her hand out and going, "Are you ready?"
Love.
Marina, what do you flash back to?
I'm going to do my last narrated scene in present day with like the parentheses of it's going to be more geared towards exercise and not physical desires. Yeah. So I think ever since she had the play ball condition, she started to try to be more active, but I think it became something of feeling more in control of, you know, controlling her breathing and controlling her cool whenever Taya's gotten into, or more like bullets have gotten into Taya. Things have gotten very, very dark in ways that maybe it would have benefited her to be more in control of her breathing, be more in control of what she's capable of physically doing. So I imagine her taking like little runs, maybe up to Bonfire Cliff and like out looking out at like the Sea of Mannequins, kind of knowing the history that's been like behind there and behind the croon, and maybe getting actually into like a little like geriatric baseball league, and finally being able to kind of do it and not just participate but do it well, and feeling herself get stronger and feeling her breaths get more steady. And you know, maybe at the beginning like it was very shaky and she was only able to like do a little bit at a time, but as time goes on she's able to completely be in control of herself and in control of like her body, her breathing, her stamina, everything.
Yeah. And how are you preparing right now?
I think in this moment, as they're like sitting there, she's starting to breathe it, to breathe through it. And I think in that moment when Taya reaches out to say, "Are you ready?" she takes like one final, like very controlled exhale. Ready.
We cut. Yes, Megan.
It's okay. I was just pondering the feasibility, and I don't know if it works, but part of me thinks that Violet would try, if she could, to take Phoenix's invitation and say that you can't be there for this. Like, you need to be safe.
I do not think you'll be successful in getting that out of her, though you could try. She is just as stubborn as you are.
Cursed stubborn genetics.
But Phoenix does clue you in on a couple of things as you guys head towards the Fen and presumably Bertha. That it's sort of a race against time. There's supposed to be some sort of signal for everyone to move from this party to the real one and start closing it down. Of course, there's a few sort of decoy people who are supposed to stay behind at the Fen, but there's in the music they were gonna play some like they take crowd suggestions, and one of us was supposed to tell them to play "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and then that was sort of everyone's cue because of the you know, take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowds, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never come back. They like a theme. But she sort of looks down at her wrist. I'm pretty sure that part probably has already happened. I don't see, as you guys kind of pull into the area, I don't see Hudson or Madison or really any of them here, which means we need to go into the woods. Okay? You guys head into the woods. You've been in these woods before. In fact, you found a baseball glove in these woods. The woods connecting the fen to the grocery store. You've been watched from these woods. You've been chased out of these woods. You've dreamed and hallucinated and danced all around this patch of woods the entire campaign. The nexus between the two ponds, the pond at the fen and the pond near the quarry at Bonfire Cliff, in the woods that stand between them. Same woods where Hannah Turley saw a phoenix all of those sessions ago. The woods where play ball happened for the first time. The woods where a great evil is poised to be brought from one plane into the next. Mere moments. I do think you guys tipped off Nikki Naff and the pack, so they are also around at your disposal. But with Phoenix at your side, you are sort of able to know the layout before you arrive. I think this is a part of your theory being correct. The problem is everything has already started. You see a number of masked people standing around, encirculating one near every tree with a glyph. There are a few trees that have large gash marks in them. These would be, of course, for the midwives you put away, who could not be present here today. There are 5 mannequins poised in the center of the circle, playing cards tacked to every head. Two of these midwives step forward. One of them raises a hand. All right then, we are just about to get started. I know we've all been waiting for this for quite some time. A new world order is upon us soon. And I, for one, am excited to see what happens next. But we have some interlopers, some curious folk who would like to see us fail at saving the world, these selfish, wretched fools. And what do we do with those? And the whole group says in unison, we drag them below. Yes, we drag them below. So, Hudson, Mike, would you bring him out, please? From the woods beyond where you all are, 2 more cult members arrive, though their masks are down, to see that Hudson Finch and Mike Taylor are dragging a body. Tossed in the center of the 5 mannequins is one very bedraggled, beaten, and bruised Wyman Dalrymple. Mariah pulls her mask off. She loves to look in the face of people who like to thwart her. She looms over Wyman. She spits on him. She doesn't say anything else to him, though. That can convey enough. One by one, she goes to each cult member and marks their mask. And as soon as she moves on to the next, that member pulls their mask down. Of course, we see Madison. We already knew about Hudson. Havarti Jensen Renette is here. Mayor Simons is here. Danny Walsh is here. Mike Taylor is here. Antagonism / Brad Alstrom is here, as well as Brad's sister. Petra is here. Standing next to her, a very confused Amelia. And then finally, a blank spot. And then Corinne. Corinne takes over from this point. She's always been the more in touch with the other side as she begins her proselytizing. I am so honored that you all are here today to help us bring about the 9th step. It's been such a joy to get to know each and every one of you. And we've worked a long time to make sure that what's done here today is what's best for the community, for Brindlewood Bay, to honor my lineage's work, of course, for those of us, and she looks over to the mannequins who have given so much, are able to get what they so deserve. It's been a lot of work. You guys have done a lot of things, and we couldn't be here today without any single one of you. And you guys too. And she looks directly in your direction. It's okay, come on out. We're not gonna do anything to you guys. And I'm glad you are honoring your invitation, though. There's someone very excited to see at least one of you if you guys come out of the woods here. Though I'm sure you've got your own version of her with you. You guys have been directly called out by Corinne, so now everyone knows you're here. This is the complication of your theorize. You technically have made it right before the real bad shit started, but they are aware you're here. Phoenix kind of goes rigid in this moment, hearing Corinne's direct call out. I swear, I didn't tell them anything.
It's okay. I know. You got a lot of people looking out for them.
Yeah, they do. Are we gonna go out there, or
Do we start?
I don't know.
All I want to do is go punch them, but I'll wait for your guys' call.
I don't think hiding here is gonna help anything at this point.
Might as well face it.
Yeah. I think Violet will grab Phoenix's hand, and then Angeli's next to me on my screen right now, so I think she's gonna grab Taya's hand too. We're gonna make this a group.
Rena will grab Taya's.
Yeah.
4 of you walk into the clearing with every glyph and pair of eyes staring you down. Marina, you can sense this is an area of magic. This is a nexus of ley lines. This is another place like the ponds that is thin and brittle and waiting to be broken. Oh, Phoenix, it's good to see you again. I was wondering where you had gone. Glad that you all got caught up with one another. I really mean that. Like, I'm truly happy for you. Though it could have come at a better time for us, but you know, things happen. It's okay. We plan contingencies. You guys want to see some magic happen?
I think Taya, under her breath, is gonna go, "What is the plan?"
I'm suddenly looking at my anything I can do.
Because I, Angeli, have a plan, but it's
Oh.
stupid. But it's Taya being stupid. But
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know your plan.
I mean, is
Yeah.
it weird to say the plan before we do it, Sid?
I can cut it out if you want to say it.
I don't know.
We're not live.
Well,
I know, that's true. I was going to have Taya backflip and then go, "Shut up," and in that give a hoot to like freeze or like shock everybody.
oh,
For her to run up and then punch Corinne in the face.
what if we
It's a lot of things to resolve with very few rolls.
I know.
Sydney reminding things, what if that's the pause we need for the werewolves to attack?
The werewolves.
The werewolf.
The werewolves. Werewolves? They're wolves. Right behind them.
So, Taya, you want to do a backflip, which would be a roll. And then give a hoot, which would give advantage to you on your next roll. And then it sounds like you want to rush Corinne to try to punch her?
Yes. Can my backflip be flavor for the give a hoot because that's what Taya did for, you know, or can I use my trophy for that since that is what she
You could
did?
use your trophy for advantage, but it will be separate rolls.
Okay. I think it's funny. I like it.
Did you use your Colt Sievers?
Not yet. But I was gonna use that for the punch because I really want to land.
Never mind, my bad.
You didn't already use it?
No, I haven't used it this mystery.
Okay. It's been so long, I can't remember.
I mean, I don't think so, right? The last time I used it.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's not marked. Let's go for it.
Sick. Okay. So first roll is to do a backflip.
Night move, vitality.
I think Taya's gonna look at Violet and Marina and just get like quiet permission first. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
In that moment of quiet permission, the chanting begins.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, Taya's gonna backflip forward. Okay. What is it composure?
A backflip is vitality.
Oh, vitality, sorry. 9.
Yeah, you can do your flip, but you're gonna tweak something. What do you tweak?
It's worth it. I'll go with my knee.
Sure. All right, then you want to do give a hoot?
Yes.
And this is the give a hoot, so I understand. This is your guys' signal to the werewolf pack that you have waiting in the wings?
Yeah.
I think so.
I was thinking either that or just like shocking them enough to give us time, but
Yeah. Or you give a hoot to like freak everybody out, like what the fuck is that crazy old lady doing? And then we howl and bring the pack in that way. I don't know. I feel like either way.
I like that one.
Give a hoot is going to give you advantage on your next roll.
Okay, cool.
All right. You give your hoot.
Mm-hmm.
with your backflip, just as you did back in Squatch Your Step all those months ago.
Mhm.
And everyone's sort of, the people who are chanting are still chanting, but there's definitely some like, as it is below, as it is, what the fuck? As it is below, as it is below. And it's intermixed with Latin. And this chanting, as it grows louder for you guys, your window for howling is shrinking as Latin and as it is below shift and move and marry and coalesce in aching, awful ways, and the wind begins to pick up.
All right. Marina, you ready?
Okay, you guys all signal the pack. And Taya, you wanted to punch Corinne?
Yeah, I wanted to run at Corinne and then punch her in the face.
Let me look at the specific wording of Cold Sabers real quick. Wild or daring, yeah. You could use the Cold Sabers to do exactly that, no roll.
Nice. Yes, sick.
Sick, beautiful.
You clock Corinne and she goes stumbling back. You've given her, I think you broke her nose. Her perfect little nose. And blood is streaming down her face. She was still in her quintessential white, so blood is going all down the white of her pantsuit. And in front of you, she grabs her, she sort of gets back up, and then grabs her nose and sets it.
Oh.
Now my suit. You know how much the dry cleaning is going to cost alone?
Hopefully a fortune.
It's all right. The 8th step is to forgive. And the 9th step is to devour. And her mouth starts opening. All right, my friends, you have brought in werewolves. Corinne's mouth is unhinging in a way that's entirely unnatural. She may have been a servitor this entire time. The mannequins are beginning to vibrate, and Wyman Dalrymple is probably dying in between them right now. I'm gonna have we're gonna kind of round robin this. You guys tell me what the werewolves do. I'm gonna sort of paint the scene questions here, sort of round this out. Violet, you're the contact with Nikki Naff. This is probably your werewolf plan right here.
Yeah.
You've asked them to help. What do they do on your signal?
I think not knowing exactly what they were going into, just like having a rough idea, I think they probably would have told him to take out as many people as they can that aren't like, if the children are there, like obviously leave them, but like any of the cult people, like.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me 2d6. This will be how many people they knock out.
Okay. Which of my dice are the most werewolfy?
Marina, I'm coming to you after this.
Okay.
I'm gonna trust you guys. Okay. I should not have. That's a 2 and a 1, so 3.
3. Brad, his sister, and Mayor Simons are all down for the count. In this first round of wolves, at least. These are the first sort of attackers. You guys see Nikki Naff, all fours, fully like gray hair, mane all the way back.
Sick.
Entirely werewolf, bolt out, and she grabs Brad by like the neck and the scruff and yanks him back into the woods. T-Bone comes up next. He's a werewolf that has a mohawk because he has a mohawk in real life. Yes. He grabs Mayor Simon and just like starts chomping at that center in that expensive suit underneath the cloak and starts to pull him back. I think Brad's sister runs away. I think she's scared. She takes off. Courtney, I believe is her name, from the grocery store. And then we cut to Marina. Marina, wolves are attacking. Taya just broke Corinne's nose. Corinne's mouth looks crazy. The chanting is starting to levitate mannequins. and you can feel something on the other side desperate to come through. What do you do?
Oof, does it feel like something good?
Feels like something powerful.
Okay. I think she would want to secure like the kids being okay. And if by way of doing that, she could do something with like the mannequins and maybe try to get Amelia away from this mess.
Yeah. She's got a sheet. She's reading the words she's supposed to be saying. Probably a very last minute replacement for some of the people you guys put away. Yeah, if you these mannequins are supposed to be conduits, right, for the missing children, for their life kept here. If you destroy them, that could potentially stop things. If you remove them, but mannequins can be quite heavy, and these, of course, are very well protected. So you have some options, huh?
Submarina's been working out.
Been working out. You want to take some mannequins or destroy some mannequins?
Yeah, I think she'd go in to destroy them, and I think maybe first go to try to convince Amelia to remove herself from the situation and maybe help her destroy the mannequins.
Yeah, roll me the night move with presence.
Okay. So we're going straight to jail. Get out of here. Okay, what do I have for presence? Ooh, nothing. Oh wait, I'm rolling 3. No, get out of here. That's a 6. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's just.
This is part of my internship. I'm supposed to be here to say these words, and then the Fen's supposed to get better.
Oh,
more Fen. It's gonna be good for the newts.
I think just realizing that she's not gonna help, just tries to like signal to the werewolves, not her, she's good. She may look like the rest of them, but she's okay. And then just kind of grab her by the shoulders, be like, "You're gonna be okay," and then try to run to go destroy the mannequins by herself.
Yeah. You go up to the mannequins. They're all pulsating, and you can tell that these things are chock full of life energy. If you remove the mannequins, then the life energy gets moved, but it's not gone. If you destroy the mannequins, whatever is stored up in there might be released. I leave you with that for now.
Okay.
We go to Taya. This is gonna kind of be our last round. So when we get back to Marina, it'll be the end of actions here. Taya, you clocked Corinne, and now her jaw is unhinging at a terrifying pace, and she is desperate to stop you from ending everything she's worked for.
Ooh. Okay. I think... Gosh. Taya just wants to swing again. But I think going against that, she'll like stumble back a little bit, and then try to go help Marina.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll go, "You're a freak," and then turn around and run.
Her mouth is making noises. I'm evolved, as she chases after you. And we cut to Violet, commander of the werewolves. You can sick them again for another 2d6, or if you want to change your strat.
Would Marina have said anything with what she was thinking, like what she understood about destroying the mannequins in that moment? Because my thought is redirecting them, but like Violet doesn't know that, so.
I think she would have said something before heading over. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if she had called out something like focus on the mannequins or anything like that, then I think Violet would definitely call the werewolves and try to get them to shift all their energy onto the mannequins.
Sure. This will be 2d6. Add your presence.
Okay.
They are going to listen to whatever you say. It's just how successful they are.
Yeah. All right. 7.
7. They start heading that way. One of them still peels off to grab Hudson Finch and go into combat with him. But
Can I
the
put him-
other... Huh?
Can I put on the ground and bump it?
Yeah.
I got a quick one. Okay. Just because we gotta get them saved, okay? Private side, very few of you get to see. So as everyone now knows, she was a ghostwriter for Robin Masterson. But one thing she's very sad about in her life, that not very many people know. I think Gavin and like the people she worked with on this would be the only ones. She also published her own book series called The Corvid Chronicle under the pseudonym Ava Crawford. And she was always really disappointed that she was never able to get that like off the ground the way she wanted to. So she ended up writing under the pseudonym Robin Masterson and seeing a lot more success that way. But she was always a little sad about that.
Yeah. Absolutely. We see just that moment focusing, sort of an echo of a redirection here as you move the wolves to head towards the mannequins. And they're tasked with what to the mannequins?
I think the understanding was to destroy them. Is that correct? Or is that EP Megan?
No, that's correct.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah.
Cool. They start, and you guys see plenty of things occur. When they go after the Carolyn one, for a brief moment, a visage of young Carolyn appears and then runs off into the woods,
Oh.
presumably towards the hospital where old Carolyn is. When they get to spots, a cult member who was just arriving late because they couldn't get off of work soon enough, aka Spots, suddenly ages and looks a lot more like his father. When they get to Phoenix's and destroy it, Violet, you see Phoenix age 10 years at least. Her worry lines set in more. She gets about half inch shorter. When they get to Corinne's, she briefly stumbles. But as Phoenix had told you all, she likely spent the least amount of time there. So she doesn't change much, though her weird mouth unhinging stuff sort of fades. Whatever magic was propelling that, her connection to the winged deceiver Maynard begins to crumble. And when they get to George's, Wyman Dalrymple throws his body between the werewolves and the Georges, and he screams, "Not him." The werewolves pause. They've received a directive from someone who isn't Violet, but it was a very strong directive. As Wyman begins, if you guys destroy it, he's gone. He's gone forever. How am I supposed to find him if he's gone? How am I supposed to find him if he's gone?
He's already gone, Wyman. And I think Violet's, I mean, I'm about to cry, but she's gonna like yell across. You have to let him go. He can't be stuck forever. I know.
Ground. begins to quake as you guys carry out this conversation. The mannequin is starting, the lone one left, George Maplethorpe, is starting to rise, and the ground is opening up underneath. A beak begins to point through. Wyman can't hold on to George's mannequin. He's sobbing. And as soon as he lets go, a werewolf jumps up and rips the baseball uniform right from it. And the mannequin tumbles. The earthquakes stop. Several cultists immediately drop, having been kept or traded their own portion of lives for this very moment. The hired help flee. And things, for the first time in the woods, are not all the way silent. A bird chirps. A cricket rubs its legs together. And Wyman Dalrymple sobs. The ritual is thwarted. Mariah Prescott dies on the spot. She was only being kept alive by this deal, and having not followed through, what life she had left her body. Corinne collapses, but she is still very much alive. Several midwives flee if they have the ability to, and you know that wolves will chase them down. It's over. You all did it. He's really gone. It's not fair. Others got to come back and not him.
It's not fair.
It's not.
But he's better off. He never got to grow. He was gonna be stuck forever and then just gone. I'm sorry.
It's bullshit. He takes his badge off. He puts it on George's mannequin. It's the job he wanted anyway. I quit.
I think you deserve that.
What kind of hellhole do we live in?
Oh, God. That's, I mean, hopefully it's less of a hellhole now.
He kind of looks up towards you, Marina. And you, Taya. I don't know what to say.
Guess it's all over.
Yeah.
Hopefully there won't be any more deaths of this nature.
What are you guys gonna do with your free time?
Look, just cause you quit your job doesn't mean we can't harass you anymore.
I mean, you could always join us at our book club.
Yeah.
I'm moving too fast.
Yeah.
Actually, he tucks the badge back up. I got a couple motherfuckers I need to arrest first, and then we'll see.
All right.
It's okay. Take your time, stinky pants.
You guys okay?
Yeah, I think if Tay is calling you stinky pants, something's still right in the world.
Yeah. Speaking of things right in the world, can I introduce you to my daughter? And she'll point to Phoenix. Yeah.
Much older now.
Yeah. She was also one of the ones that got taken. But yeah.
You're lucky you're back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need reports from everyone.
Yep.
He takes a big ol' swallow as he tries to shift into compartmentalization mode. And I'll send Brett out here. Well, no. I'll call in the feds to come clean this up.
Yeah, don't send it.
Oh, Brad. No.
Yeah.
Price
Violet
is
pulls
best.
Right. Violet pulls a flask out of her bag, and offers it to Wyman.
He
Don't
takes his own out.
Well, I mean,
Cheers.
it's a tea, but all right. She takes a swig.
We fade from here. You each have one final sentence to give me. Where do we find you in a year's time? One sentence. I'll start with Wyman Dalrymple. In a year's time, he is now fully retired and volunteers his time at the cemetery, where he cleans graves, ensures everything is up to code, and continues chatting with his good friend George.
A year's time, Violet has gotten to experience life with her family whole. And I think she started what she considers to be the most important work of her life now. And she's writing a book series under her own name. And though there are mysteries and twists and turns, it echoes their experience with the midwives, and it's secretly, she hopes, will help anybody who runs into them in the future defeat them themselves. Because she doesn't think, well, there's always going to be bad people out there, right?
Right?
Dang, that's so hard to follow up.
It's so hard.
Sydney, can you stitch it so that Megan's was last?
No.
No.
Fine, I'll change mine. Violet's real sad and she was happy now. There you go.
That's if you want to go
Where's
first.
the other one?
Okay. In a year's time, I think Marina has now been able to do so much with a new sense of valor and a new sense of fuck it with Taya by her side in doing all kinds of shenanigans and just feeling utmost freedom while being at somebody's side. And I also think that every croon, she now sets a little croon stone aside for wherever George may be. If he could feel it anywhere, any atom of him anywhere in the universe could feel it, she wants. Even if there's a slim chance, she wants to put that there for him.
And you no longer have nightmares. All right, Taya.
I think in a year's time, Taya would have either moved in with Marina or had Marina move in with her. And so now the group gets together at the combined Taya Marina household. And I think by then, Taya would have also proposed to Marina on the beach using Murray to bring the ring. especially after the whole debacle and finding that she still has so much life to live, but she has to spend it wisely now, and that she wants to spend it with the people who make her the most happy, which would be Marina and Violet.
In a year's time, the sleepy cove of Brindlewood Bay experiences only natural deaths. Moving forward, several members of the Midwives of the Fragrant Void who survived their strange bear attacks in the woods are brought to justice or are currently awaiting trial. Most notably of those, Corinne Waitley. The ninth step is closed. There was a funeral for Mariah Prescott. No one went. In a year's time, Brindlewood Bay settles back down. While there are still wisps of magic and the feeling of being seen, being known out in places where you should be alone, there doesn't seem to be any mysterious deaths, any warbling songs from the woods, or children going missing. Perfect little retirement village on the East Coast where in a couple more years' time, 100 years or so, these events will long be forgotten, only semi-reconciled in a mostly true but maybe potentially fictional, hard-to-tell account by some local author. Brindlewood Bay goes to sleep. But everyone's got to wake up sometime. All right, my friends. As things simmer back below the surface, I have to tell you as players, our journey in Brindlewood Bay has officially come to an end. So for those of you who were watching, thank you for being along every step of the way. For those of you who are playing, I got no words. You guys rock. And for the official final time in a campaign, as it is below and is below with you,